Uh-huh. Religion. Let me see. Hold on, I'm coming. Oh, we back in here with another one. What's poppin', y'all? What's poppin', man? Y'all know we gonna vibe out real quick. Let me see. Community gathering, spirituality, and religion. All right. Let's get this thing started, man. Yeah, senor. Look. It's gold roses in my bathtub, water hot, Epsom salt for summer central rubs. It's gold roses in my floor. Nah, my head don't hurt, dog. It's gold roses in my bedroom. My forehead big though. That's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. Look. I write my goals and follow through, cause that's my focus. I meet my goals halfway, cause that's the local. If that shit disturb my peace, I don't care what that is. Grab a lighter, burn some sage, I don't know what that is. It's all good, keep it moving, keep that vibe right. Make sure you meditate to keep that mind right. Burn some sage, keep it moving, keep that vibe right. Make sure you meditate to keep that mind right. It's gold roses in my bathtub, water hot, Epsom salt, the summer central rubs. It's gold roses on my floor too. I walk out, might as well paint my floor blue. It's gold roses in my bedroom. Bandanas hanging down, that's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. All my niggas breathe in. All my niggas breathe out. Hey, burn some say, matter of fact. Hey, burn some Palo Santo. Look. Hey, take a break and smell the flowers. Hey, why y'all talking about me, man? Tell your folks you love them. Got the forehead, got the eye, man. It's gold roses in my blood when I smoke. Just talking about spiritual practice with these songs make me float. These next 3 days I ain't eating. See, I'm fasting. Feeling closer to my God. I got passion. See, I used to carry hate, but I got past. So much pain up in my heart, it had me lashing. Rosemary on my temples, hit with migraines. It's an honor been of service, that's on my name. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me now. It's gold roses in my bathtub, water hot, Epsom salt with summer central rubs. It's gold roses on my floor too. I walk out, you might as well paint my floor blue. It's gold roses in my bedroom. Bandanas hanging down, that's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me now. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me now. What's up, y'all, man? Y'all know we gonna vibe out real quick, man. We gonna vibe out, let everybody come on in. I see y'all talk about me. I know I got a big forehead. I already know. I know the locks look like they hurt, but they don't hurt, though. I'm just chilling, man. Go on and get your oodles and noodles. Do you say God amongst men? Yeah, a God amongst men. If I ain't tell you that I love you, well, I promise I do. Sometimes, yeah, I may forget, but you ain't walking my shoes. So much trauma down that road, I had no choice. You trying to speak, but They wouldn't listen, had no voice. Get your oodles and noodles. Go ahead and roll up real quick. Get right. Get your fruit, get your teas. You feel me? See, I'm just trying to give more than I receive now. I started meditating, trying to find some peace now. I changed my diet, vibrating higher, no sheeps now. And burn some sage, make your bed, change your sheets now. If I ain't tell you I love you, well I do. Seeing this blunt, I got lavender and chamomile. I'm sitting back, reminiscing, I ain't have a meal. I'm speaking affirmations to the sun and the sunlight. Angels round me, crazy, I escaped that gunfight. I feel the chill up in my bones, my spirit elevated. It's like I'm finally going home. You gotta learn to love yourself before you love someone else. You gotta learn to give it out before you get it for yourself. Look, see what you get is what you give. Your life is your state of mind. You living how you live. Look, respect yourself, nigga. Yeah, your life is your reflection. Bless yourself, nigga. And stop looking like everything is outside of you. Yeah, the moon, the stars is all inside of you. Look yourself in the mirror, do what you gotta do. And drop tears, cut off tears is what you gotta do. Focus on yourself and let nobody bother you. And understand what you desire should desire you. If I ain't tell you that I love you, well I promise I do. Sometimes yeah I may forget, but you ain't walked in my shoes. So much trauma down the road, you had no choice how. I'm trying to speak, they wouldn't listen, you had no voice how. See I understand how you feeling, no more feelings how. See I understand what love healing, but it's killing how. You know, we're gonna vibe out real quick, you know, let everybody come on in, you know, setting the mood right, trying to get this frankincense going, real quick. Go on and get your oodles and noodles, go ahead and cleanse your space, you know, get your pen and paper, cause we going in tonight, y'all. We going in tonight, baby. Yeah. Ooh-wee. Look. Yeah. My bitches as a ride. My bitches as a ride. My bitches as a ride. My bitches as a. See, lately I've been protecting my peace. I went to the land of Pineal, I've been protecting my seat. Even though I fought the spirits, I still come from the streets. A big step, but still a gangster. I'm protecting my feet. I'm meditating, doing shadow work, I'm healing some shit. I've been trying to open my heart chakra, I'm feeling some shit. Yeah, I vibrating high, but I still beat your ass. And I don't really talk too much, but I teach your class. Yeah. And I still ride for my people. When I speak, I shake the room. I got some shit I can teach you. We don't vibrate the same, but I still pray I can reach you. A lost soul up in your eyes, just don't let it defeat you. 7 days within my fast, I'm on some emotional shit. I ain't even go outside, fuck the social shit. A lot of forces that I'm feeling, yeah, I'm controlling this shit. Yeah, I'm facing all my fears, yeah, I'm approaching this shit. Yeah. My bitches that's a ride. My bitches that's a ride. My bitches that's a ride. My bitches that's a. See, lately I've been protecting my peace. Went to the land of Pineal, I've been protecting my seat. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. A big stepper, still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. I'm protecting my feet, yeah. I'm protecting my feet. A big step, still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. I still cry, baby. What'd he say? He said, I went to the land of Pineal. I've been protecting my seat. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. A big stepper, still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. I've been meditating, doing shadow work. I'm healing some shit. I've been trying to open my heart chakra. I'm feeling some shit. Yeah, I'm vibrating high, but I still beat your ass. And I don't really talk too much, but I teach your class. Whew. Uh-oh. How everybody feeling tonight, man? How everybody feeling? What's going on? What's going on, man? Everybody good? Drop your playlist. Oh, no, that's my song. That's my song. It ain't out yet. We not vibrating the same, but I still hope I can reach you. A lost soul up in your eyes. Just don't let it defeat you. Hoo-hoo. Hey, that nigga be talking, dog. I'm telling you. Hey, that nigga, hey, but whoever that nigga is right there be talking some real, hey, my boy. Ooh-wee. However, how everybody's feeling, man? How everybody doing? Everybody feeling good? Everybody feeling amazing? I see somebody saying I'm at peace. Y'all want me to drop the song? I got you. I got you. I'm gonna drop the song real soon. I'm just working on my album right now. I'm gonna drop it real soon. I'm gonna drop it. How everybody feeling though? Talk to me. What's up before we dive in? What going on? Welcome. We back with another community gathering. I appreciate each and every last one of you all for joining the community because like I always say, there would not be a community without the community. So I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for joining. If this is your first time joining the community gathering, welcome to the community. We welcome you with open arms. We appreciate you, we honor you, and we respect you. Please understand, and understand that this is a safe space for all of us to speak, of course, when the community gathering is activated, beyond the topic. And as you all can see, the topic tonight is about spirituality and religion. And we are about to get it in. Let me fix my other phone up real quick. For YouTube, we can't forget about the YouTube. Press record. Because some people ain't on. Some people not on Instagram, so we gotta give YouTube some love too. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to find your peace within, all you gotta do is go within. That's it. What y'all talking about? Emotions all over the place. Moon cycle got me feeling like Gene from X. Me right now, but I might feel better. Hey, listen. Drink you some raspberry tea. Get you some raspberry tea with some mullein. I mean, not mullein, but some raspberry tea, some blue vervain, and some damania leaf. Make you some tea with that, man. You're gonna be all right. But oh damn, Gina, what a topic. Oh yeah, for sure. Spirituality and religion. That's what we talking about tonight. So if this is your first time in the community gathering, welcome again. We welcome you with open arms. Of course, you know how I like to start the community gathering is with a 30-second to a minute sound bowl meditation. This sound bowl is tuned to the third eye. So as we're doing the sound bowl, we want to make sure that we're breathing in and out of our nose only. We want to make sure that we're breathing deep within the abdomen because the majority of us, we do not breathe deep within the abdomen. We always shallow breathe, right? And we want to be able to utilize the full capacity of our lungs. So after we do this 30-second to a minute sound bowl, then we're going to jump into prayer and then we're going to dive in. Someone got a fake page as you. Hey, don't give it no energy. It's all good. Somebody said, what does your tattoo mean? God is here. God is here. All of the above. All right, so y'all, let's jump into the meditation prayer. Then we're going to jump in. All right. I give honor and thanks to the powers that be that have put me in a position to obtain the knowledge that I have. To not only be able to obtain the knowledge, but convert this knowledge into wisdom. To not only be able to teach myself, but the people, places, and things around me. I send that same energy out to every being on this live, every being that's in this community. To not only be able to obtain the knowledge that may be spoken, but also be able to convert that knowledge into wisdom. To be able to teach themselves, and not just themselves, but the people, places, and things around them. I also want to give honor and thanks to every being a part of this community, because I understand, understand that without the community, there is no community. I also pray that every vibration, every frequency, every word spoken tonight speaks far away from ego, but on the same frequency of love, life, power, and most importantly, truth. I give honor and thanks, and I speak life and power into the powers that be. Ashe, Asheo, Amen, Amen, Hare Krishna, and all of the above that you shall subscribe to. What's popping, y'all? We back in here. We back in here. Come on back. Hey, you know what, though? I forgot to tell y'all, right? Every community we have, every community gathering we have, and I do the sound bowl, and I do the sound bowl, I forget to tell y'all to like focus on the third eye. I don't know what that was. I don't know, but I forget to tell y'all to focus on the third eye, on your pineal gland, as we're doing the sound bowl. But however, how is everyone doing? How everybody's feeling? I pray everybody good. Tapped in for sure. I see you. I view you. I see you. What the hell was that? Oh yeah, y'all heard that too? I know, right? Hey, y'all telling me to go check. But what? Whatever that was, hey, do your thing. I'm gonna leave you alone. What are you talking about? Go check. Somebody said go check. What? Boy, stop. I'm not finna go check nothing. That's how niggas get, you know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? That's how much, you know what I mean? Like, shit, like who? But just know I got the blicky, sticky, and the icky. I got the chopsticks, mopsticks, and the yopsticks in this motherfucker. So I ain't really too much worried about it. You feel me? So whatever that was, I'ma just, you feel? I'ma just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Because once it bothered me, then oh yeah, it's going down. Don't even worry about it. But however, welcome to the community gathering. If this is your first time in the community gathering, welcome. If you have any questions as we go on with the topic, as you can see, the topic says spirituality and religion. So if you have any questions, please put the questions in the question box. And of course, if you want to join me on the live, y'all come. It's funny. If you want to join me on the live, please request a video and we can have a dialogue. He melanated. We don't check shit. Facts. We don't check. We either get the blicky and start ickying, or we run. You feel what I'm saying? What we checking? You know what I'm saying? I got the blicky stickies and the ickies, the yop sticks, mop sticks, and the chopsticks. So I'm not too much worried. I'm just like, man, what the hell is that? You feel that? However, let's jump into the topic. So if y'all see me going back and forth, back and forth looking, I got my other device here, you know what I'm saying, for YouTube, to upload on YouTube. We're going to upload this on Instagram, and then this phone is here to upload on YouTube. Welcome to the community gathering. So, boom. Yes, I am saving this live, by the way. I am saving this live. All right, so let's dive in, y'all. Spirituality, right, and religion. And so the reason why I said and religion and instead of saying versus religion, because a lot of people would, look at it as, spirituality versus religion, right? And most importantly, we have to understand that when spiritualists, right, or spiritual beings are speaking about certain things for how to find yourself or how to find God or whatever the case may be, right? A lot of things that are in a lot of like religious practices books we pretty much are saying the same thing. However, what's going on is the indoctrination and the programming of another person's perspective of what these ancient scripts or what these religion books are saying, and we take it and run with it instead of actually going into these books and not just reading them, but also reading them, right? However, tonight we're going to break down a few scriptures, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible, and we're going to, I'm going to elaborate, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not going to say this is my perspective. However, it's just very important to not just start reading these certain books, but read these books and start diving more deep into the actual meanings and not just something, as far as surface level, right? So I want to start with Isaiah 29 and 13, right? 29 and 13. Again, we're talking about spirituality and we're talking about religion, right? Isaiah 29 and 13 says, I want to quote it word for word, but it says, these people come near me. These people come near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips and hands, but their hearts is far from me. Their worship of me is based on merely human rules that they have been taught, right? This is Isaiah 29 and 13. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me grab it real quick, y'all. Let me grab it. So this is the Bible. I was actually gifted this, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Isaiah 29 and 13, right? Let me see. Let's go to it real quick. Let's all follow along. If you have one, and again, we're not reading this. We're reading this. All right. What this is? Let's see. 9, 6, 7. Let's jump into Isaiah. All right. Boom. It is right here. All right, what I said, Isaiah 29 and 13, right? 29 and 13, it says, therefore, the Lord said, because these people draw near with their mouths and honor me with their lips, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear towards me is tradition by the perception of man. Right? We're not just reading this, we're reading this. So what does that mean? That means pretty much like if you fully understand what Isaiah 13 is saying, it's saying that we're all taught pretty much as far as religion, right, to fear God, right? We're all taught to fear God by man, right? This is what we've been programmed to do, right? Which also, fearing God digs deeper within your subconscious mind, because what happens is that it makes us not like looking into the mirror. That's one thing, right? It makes us not want to question anything, right? And it also puts us in a position to not wanting to start thinking for ourselves, which is very important, right? A lot of people that are, so engulfed into religion, they don't like thinking for themselves, or they don't like questioning certain things, right? Now, what we have to understand is that the majority of what we've been taught about religion is actually someone else's point of view and or perception, right? So for an example, right, when I used to go to church, my mom used to take me to church, right? And when I was in like the children's ministry, or I was either in the adult ministry, and I was sitting with her listening to the preacher, right? You pull out a Bible, whatever, go to the scripture, right? And we'll read the scripture. However, the way he explained the scripture to himself, right? The way he explained the scripture to his perspective of that scripture, and the way he explained it to the congregation, right? I pray I said that right, to the individuals, right, in the audience. And as I was listening, it's been a lot of scriptures. As I was listening, I'm like, that's not my perspective, right? That's not my perspective. That's not something that I'm understanding. Like so I pray y'all understand what I'm saying. Basically, when the preacher tell us to turn into a scripture in the Bible. He explained it, and my perspective is completely different from his. However, right, everybody else is just like, oh yeah, that's what it is. And so what's happening is that, you know, a lot of times, of course, in these religions, we get programmed to believe and to look at someone else's point of view and perception and take it on as our own. Right. And then on top of that, you have to also understand that over 99, if not all pastors, right, you have to go to school first and foremost. Right. You got to go to school to get a degree. Right. To be a pastor. Right. Not only that, as you're going to school and getting this degree, they're teaching you what they want. What they're doing is educating you. Right. Remember what I said, the etymology of education means to train. So what's going on is that when these preachers and when these pastors are going to these schools to get trained to be a pastor, what they're doing is they're taking out certain scriptures as they're going through the school. Right. And what's happening is this school is programming their perspective, their perception and point of view. And remember what I always speak about. I always say that your perception, right, your perspective and your point of view is what controls your reality. So majority of what we've been taught about when it comes to religion, it is someone else's point of view and perception and perspective. Right now, boom, let's go to Let's go to Romans. Let's go to, let me see, Romans. Y'all know I gotta go to the index to look at the page number. You feel what I'm saying? But so don't laugh at me, y'all. Let me see Romans. Where Romans at? Romans. Damn, am I skipping? Oh, here it is right here. Okay, 16:18. Bet. So let's go to Romans 12:2. Let me see where we at with it. Boom. Okay, boom. Check this, right? Now, Romans 12:2 says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will. Right? Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Remember what we're saying. We're not just reading this. We're reading this. So what's going on is what Romans 12:2 is telling us is the renewing of our entire perception, our consciousness, right? Which controls your reality, right? Which is why I always speak about going within. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Somebody said this is really service right here on Wednesday. Facts. But understand, we're not just reading this. We're reading this. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing of your perception, your point of view, your consciousness, which controls your reality. Which is why I always speak about going within. Do not be conformed of this world. Psalms 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. Which is why a few weeks ago when I spoke, damn near every live these past few weeks, I briefly speak about the power of being silent, the power of being in silence, the power of just being with no distractions. With no distractions. Be still and know that I am God. That's Psalms 46:10. You can look this up. I'm giving y'all credible information, and I'm giving y'all the credits to go back to do your own studies. Drop some numbers real quick. Let me make sure everybody paying attention before we continue. See what y'all talking about. Drop some numbers real quick. Let me make sure everybody paying attention. So, you know what I'm saying? Before we continue on and before we 12. Okay, bet. I see y'all. Bet. All right. Drop some numbers. Just want to make sure everybody paying attention. We had some people coming in late. You know what I'm saying? Buddy back there doing his own little thing. Whatever. All right, for sure. I bet. Now, right? Now what we about to do is we about to go to All right, I got my pen in here now. So now what we about to go to, we talking about spirituality and religion, right? Now what we about to go to is, this is going to be the last scripture, and then we're going to dive in some more, right? So check this. Matthew 15, 8 through 9. Remember, we're not reading this, we're reading it. Matthew 15, 8 through 9 says, these people draw near to me with their mouth and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. In vain, they do worship me, teaching the indoctrines and the perceptions of man. They worship me in vain, yet their teachings are merely human rules. Another man's perspective, another man's perception. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. Another man's perception. See, this is important because what's going on is you have to understand that spirituality, right, and the indoctrination of religion cannot play hand in hand. Right? Now, one thing is for sure and one thing is for certain, right? To all my magic workers out there, to all the gods and goddesses that do magic, right? And that's into, the manipulating of energy. They know that Psalms is literally a book of spells. Psalms is the book of spells, right? So when it comes to understanding that spirituality and the indoctrination of religion cannot play hand in hand. The indoctrination is pretty much another man's perception, another man's perspective. The human rules. Be in this world, but not of this world. Hence, which is why it's very important to read certain ancient scripts for yourself and do your own research. Back to the illustration that I had when I was going to church and I had questions that nobody could answer. I was reading the same scripture, but my perception and my point of view was completely different from yours. And then if I speak up and say, well, no, this is what this means to me, I'm wrong. Excuse me. If I speak up and I say, hey, no, this is my perspective and my point of view, I'm wrong. Why? Because they're trying to educate you. What does education means? To train. We don't need to get educated. We need to have knowledge, wisdom. So it's very important to start asking your own questions. You have to also understand that when it comes to religion and spirituality, right, we're all on different paths. So what works for you may not work for me. However, the goal is to be in this world, but not of it. Basically, in a sense, right, to sum it pretty much up, right, spiritual beings, spirituality, is pretty much saying some of the same things in here. Some of the same things. People come close to me with their hands in their mouth. Now we're finna dive even deeper, right? Because it says that they take their hearts far away from me. So if your heart is not with God, if your heart is not of God, how can you be God? We finna dive in. Now what we about to do is we about to rewind a little bit to the community gathering of last year. Of last week. I was about to say last year, but of last week, right? People come close to me with their hands in their mouth, yet not their hearts. Why? We have a completely inaccurate perception of who God is, what God is, who we are, and what we are as beings. Being close to God is being close to God through heart, which is why I always say you have to go within, right? We got to read these scriptures. We have to read the ancient scripts. Means that we have the opportunity we have to be, not the opportunity, but we have to be operating from the heart center, which is the highest vibration there is. Love is the highest vibration there is. Then when you look at the chakra chart, you will then realize with your real eyes that the heart chakra is the bridge to connect all the chakras and align them. So if your heart chakra is out of whack, everything else is going to be out of whack. Because that is the bridge. Now, of course, you can go through your root, your soul, your sacral, you know what I'm saying, your heart. You can move up one by one. However, it's just like it pretty much aligns with your glandular highway. If one of your organs is out of whack, and if your pancreas is out of whack, right, it's going to knock off your kidneys. If your kidneys is out of whack, it's going to knock off your lymphatic system, because your kidneys is the filtration system of the body. If your lymphatic system is out of whack, that means your heart circulation, your blood pressure is going to start fluctuating, and that's going to get out of whack. You see how everything is connected? So being close to God through heart means that we have to be operating from the heart center. Remember what it says. In vain they do worship me, but their teachings of the doctrines of the perception of men. These people draw near to me with their mouth and their lips, with their mouth, and honor me with their lips. Yet their heart is far from me. The heart chakra is the bridge that connects all chakras together and align them. It's the most powerful chakra. To activate this chakra, you have to understand that you first have to love yourself. You cannot love anything or anybody else unless you love yourself. Hence, which is why when a few moments ago, I said that majority of us, the fact that we've been delusional and under the spell of delusion, majority of us, we have a problem with looking into the mirror. We have a problem with looking into the mirror. How can you believe in something that you can't see, yet hate the things that you do see? That's a great question to me. How do you hate the things that you do see, yet believe and love the things that you don't? To activate your heart chakra, you have to start loving yourself, appreciating yourself. We talking about the frequent. We ain't talking about. I'm getting too ahead of myself. What we're talking about is aligning with God. That's what we're talking about right now, aligning with God. And in order to do that, you got to operate in your heart center. In order to operate in your heart center, what does that mean? That's the vibration of love. But you can't love anything or anyone without loving yourself first. Appreciating self, forgiving yourself, loving yourself, doing for self before expecting someone else to do for you. Now, when we going into love, right? And how the heart center is far away from God. Now it goes back to frequency and vibration. I spoke about this. I broke down the Son of God. When you look up the definition in the etymology of son, it goes back to the original word of sown, S-O-N-E, the Son of God. So when you look up the definition in the etymology of sown, S-O-N-E, it means sound. So that means through the parables and the different translations, the original word in the ancient scripts, it didn't say the Son of God, but the sound of God. So what does that mean? The sound of God, the vibration, the frequency of God. Once you get on that, once you resonate with the frequency and you resonate with the vibration, then you become the Son of God, the sound of God. And once you become the sound of God, you become God. God is not a person. God is not something in the sky. God is consciousness, frequency, vibration, love. inside your mind, your spirit. We're talking about spirituality and religion, not spirituality versus religion. We're talking about spirituality and religion. Because honestly, it's the same thing. I'm reading from a religious text. However, from the indoctrination of other men, this is called the religious text. However, this is really spiritual text. Because again, we're not just breaking and reading this book. We're breaking down and reading this book. How many times have we spoke about the frequency of love? How many times have we spoke about vibrating on the frequency of love? Plenty times. So if God is, first off, if the understanding of your own journey goes beyond someone else's perspective, goes beyond someone else's perception and point of view, right? Now we got to understand that we're not just a small being on earth in a black void, outer space, right? Because even when we break the earth down, it's proven, right? For those that don't know, it's proven as below, so above, and vice versa. It's water above us, right? We know this, right? The Milky Way is the crack in the dome that was sealed, the great flood, hello, right? We know this, so we don't even, but when we go into, right, again, when we go into the consciousness and the perspective and the perception of God, right, and we start understanding that we're not on a ball, we're not just a small being, we're not just in a black void outer space, right? Now we got to start breaking down heaven and hell. We're talking about spirituality and religion. Understand something. I can explain it for you, but I can't understand it for you. The mouth of the wise is closed except to the ears of understanding. The mouth of the wise is closed except for the ears of understanding. So I can explain it for you, but I can't understand it for you. So when it comes to heaven and hell, we have to understand that if based off our perspective, our perception and point of view, which controls our reality, now we got to start asking ourselves, okay, well, what is heaven and hell? Heaven and hell is whatever frequency you're vibrating on. Heaven and hell is what you think you resonate with. Because what you think becomes your reality. So even if we break down, for an example, right? Even if we break down the certain beings about, they say they died and came back and, you know what I'm saying? They experienced heaven or they experienced hell, right? Remember what I just said. It's whatever frequency and whatever you think you resonate with becomes your reality. So, to the individuals that say they died and came back and experienced heaven and hell, they're not wrong. See, that's the kick. That's the thing about it. They're not wrong. Because realities is relative, and we even gonna break that down. And the reason why I say they're not wrong is because, again, what you think you resonate with is what your reality is. See, nobody can tell you how to get closer to God. Nobody can tell you where God is. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you ask a person and they say, hey, how can I find God? Where can I find God? If they do not say go within, if they do not say sit with yourself in silence, if they do not say that, you need to get away from them. Psalms 46, be still and know that I am God. Cut off all distractions and go within. You have to always go within to go without. Remember, the kingdom of God will not come with observation. They will not say, here it is or there it is. For remember, the kingdom of God is within you. How do you expect to enter the temple of God when you can't even take care of the temple that God gave you? Nobody can tell you how to get closer to God or where God is unless they're telling you to go within. That's the only answer there is. If you want me to keep it gangster with you. I pray everybody is understanding, and understanding what I'm speaking on. We talking about spirituality and religion, not spirituality versus religion. Nah, ain't no beef. Ain't no beef. You know what I'm saying? We ain't beefing, nigga. Fuck, nigga, we bold. We bold. You feel me? Oh, that's that seeded grape juice with that ginger and key lime. Yeah. Now, so if we break down the reality, right? Our realities, what we think is what we think we resonate with becomes our reality. Now we have to understand, okay, boom, right? Existence itself at that point then happens inside of the mind. Listen to what I'm saying now. Existence itself happens inside the mind. Think about, right? Think about the gathering of when I spoke about time and breaking down past, present, and future happening all at once, right? Think about the community gathering that I spoke about time, right? If existence happens inside the mind, right? And we go beyond time, and we tap into the 5D realm to observe the past, present, and future. And it's all happening at the same time. We're experiencing our existence as it happened, after it's happened, and before it happened. Past, present, and future. Existence itself happens inside the mind. We're talking about spirituality and religion here. Think about this, right? Think about this. Every possibility that you can think of, that you can create inside of your mind, is actually playing out in another existence, in another reality. So for an example, right? Let's say this rising, you got up, you made your bed, you brushed your teeth, and you put on some socks, right? Every possibility that could have happened, rather you going in reverse, rather you brush your teeth first before you made your bed, rather you stayed asleep, right? These, you have to understand that your mind is powerful. So as you're thinking about these other possibilities that could have happened, is actually happening. Because you have to understand that everything happens in the spiritual realm before it happens in this physical realm. Also, think about this, right? Another thing, right? Just think about yourself. Matter of fact, I'm going to use me for an example, right? With me, let's say 10 people experience me one-on-one, right? Excuse me. And all of these 10 individuals have different opinions about their perception of myself. They're all 10 of those individuals are right. Right? So if I have 10 different perceptions of myself in this realm, you have to understand that those perceptions are realities, right? My perception is my own reality. Your perception is your own reality. However you're viewing me right now is your own reality. So right now, it's 221 217 different realities going on right now in this present moment. That right there even proves that we are multidimensional beings in different dimensions, different realities, because your perception creates your reality. I pray everybody understanding, overstanding, and understanding what I'm saying right now. We're talking about spirituality versus religion. It's going to all come back around. I seen somebody said, what somebody said? There's not right. Somebody said there's no right or wrong. Oh, we finna dive into that. We finna dive in. Spirituality versus religion. So because we've been taught by man, right, that God is away from you, because we've been taught by man, by the indoctrination of certain scriptures, that God is outside of us, inside of heaven, you become trapped inside of this illusion and this delusion. And by this, it keeps you away from God. I don't think y'all hearing me right now. Because of the indoctrination of the illusion and the delusion that we've been programmed to believe, as far as God being outside of us, God being in heaven, that illusion, that delusion keeps you away from God. Because we understand the power of the 3, 6, and the 9, I'm going to say that one more time. Because we have been taught, educated, trained, programmed, indoctrinated by man to believe that God is away. God is in heaven. God is outside of us. You become trapped under this spell called illusion and delusion. And by that, it keeps you away from God. The kingdom of God will not come with observation. They will not say, here it is, or there it is. For remember, the kingdom of God is within you. Let me see some numbers real quick. We finna dive in some more. I think I got one more scripture. I think I got one more little whoop to speak on. I don't know why, but as I was flipping, through the Bible, right? I came up on Matthew 13 and 13. It says, because they look, but do not see, and they listen, but they do not hear, neither do they understand. And then I got Matthew 6 and 22. Hold on real quick, y'all. Hold on real quick. I'm getting some. Okay, Matthew 6 and 2. Oh, yeah. The light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is unclear, your whole body will be full of darkness. Therefore, if the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that dark? The light of the body is in the eye. The light. Also in the Bible, it also speaks about the light being the kingdom of God. Oh, y'all ain't ready for that one. Ooh. Y'all ain't ready for that one. Let me stay on topic. Ooh-wee. Let me stay on topic. I'm tripping. Ooh-wee. Y'all ain't ready for that one. What did it say? Ooh-wee. All right. Let me stay on topic. Let me stay on topic, y'all. Ooh-wee. The light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. Then it says the kingdom of God is the light. Then when you go back, it's in the eye. So the kingdom. Anyway, okay, so boom. Listen, spirituality and religion, right? So to move on, right? When we start operating, right, from the heart chakra, right, we have to start understanding certain things. Give me like 10 more minutes, y'all, and we done, right? When we start operating in the heart chakra, instead of insulting, and like I said, spirituality and religion play hand in hand. However, it's the indoctrination. We trying to get, we're not trying, but we're getting past the indoctrination and stop reading, and we need to start reading, right? So operating from the heart chakra, right, is instead of insulting others because of their beliefs, right? We have to start understanding that with open minds and hearts, we all need to get in a space, right, where we can start asking each other questions, right? We can start understanding, overstanding, and understanding different people's practices and beliefs, and we can start exchanging information and experiences, right? You have to understand, like, even for myself, what do I mean by that, right? I'm gonna use myself as an example. I've been to plenty mosques. I've been to a few Buddha temples. You know, I done partied with the monks, Hare Krishna. Of course, Christianity. Why though? Why was I'm only 26. And with an open heart and an open mind, I was able to go to the mosque. I was able to go to different Buddha temples. I was able to go to and party with the monks. Yet at the same time being raised as Christian. Why? Because I have an open mind and an open heart. And with that, I had questions that certain people could not answer, and I need answers. And by understanding, overstanding, and understanding about having an open mind and an open heart, my questions was answered. And by this, we can start having conversations about how now can we dissect and observe 5D realm through multiple angles, how we can observe life through multiple angles in harmony with nature. Being in harmony with nature. So we finna go a little bit deeper. Give me 10 more minutes, and then we're gonna dive into the community gathering. So I've experienced certain individuals saying that meditation is demonic, right? We're going back to the fear factor, the indoctrination, the programming, right? So my question is, how can meditation be demonic? What is the difference between meditation and closing your eyes to pray? Now I know some folks want to get in. I know some folks want to get in on this community gathering. I can't wait to start adding people and start answering questions, because I know some questions, right? So my thing is, how can meditation be demonic? Then what is praying? What is the difference between me closing my eyes and instead of speaking or asking or pleading by way of my imagination and my perspective and perception and point of view, instead of pleading and asking something outside of me, can I have certain things? Can my life be better? Versus me actually closing my eyes and going within. Remember, the kingdom of God will not come with observation. They will not say, here it is or there it is. For remember, the kingdom of God is within you. Now I'm able to go within, and I ain't got to do no more asking. See, once I stop believing in the sky and I start believing in me, I don't have to ask nothing anymore. I can demand it. Why? Because now my perspective is abundance is my birthright. The things that I desire desires me. That which is for me will come to me. That which is for me will find me as long as I stay on track. And then on top of that, think about it, right? You have to understand something, right? The spell, we speak about spells and utilizing the English language because we understand that the English language is spell casting, which is why they call it spelling, right? When we speak these things, right, and we say, I want this or I want that. We're talking about the power of manifestation. We're going to come back to spirituality. We're going to come back to spirituality and religion. But now we're talking about real quick. We're talking about manifestation. Or I want a car. I want a house. I want this. I want that. Right? How much more do you think it'll be powerful if you would say, I have this, I have the car, I have the house, I have the land, I have abundance, I have this, that, and the third. Not only speaking as if you have it, but also thinking as you have it. Also being as you have it. That's the power of manifestation. So now, right, we spoke about meditation. Right? Being demonic, meditation versus, praying, all the same thing. However, it's disconnecting from the indoctrination and not praying, but manifesting. Not praying, but manifesting. Now, right? Just now, I just had this thought, right? Give me 5 more minutes, y'all, and then we're going to dive into the community gather, right? I just had this thought, this upload, I would say, right? That I felt that somebody asked me, wherever in the community, somebody asked me, okay, well, when it comes to heaven and hell, the people that do bad, right? If heaven and hell don't exist, or if heaven and hell is nothing but just a perspective or a perception or, a thought of belief, then where do the bad people go, right? Whoever that was that asked that, I'm glad you asked that. Whoever just asked that question, I'm glad you asked that. So we have to understand polarity, right? What is polarity, right? When you research what is polarity, right? It'll tell you it is a state that everything in this universe has its opposites, right? And it's dual, right? And we cannot accept something entirely without accepting the equal opposites, right? Again, polarity, which states that everything in this universe has opposites and is dual, and you cannot accept one thing without accepting itself, without accepting the equal opposites, without accepting it in its entirety. It's like yin and yang, right? It's like yin and yang. Oh yeah, we gonna trust me. We gonna dive deep. We just talking about polarity, right? And we gonna get to, you know what I'm saying, all of that. I got you. So then when you look up the principle of polarity, you will understand that the seemingly opposites things are actually one and the same, right? So for an example, right? Hot and cold, right? Cold is just the opposite of hot. However, the principle is temperature, right? They're both one and the same. They're both temperatures, yet cold is just the opposite of hot, right? Which could also mean that good and bad isn't a thing, it just is. Now listen, we gonna dive in. Listen, we gonna dive in. I know some of y'all saying, heaven and hell. Listen. Karma, just listen. We gonna get there. Be patient. Now, right? Another example, right? Masculine and feminine, right? Day and night, love and hate. It's all the same thing. Now, you have to understand that when it comes to polarity, right, for every being that is in this universe that wants to protect life, there are equal amount of beings in this universe that also wants to destroy it. So you have to understand that good and bad is nothing but polarity, right? The universe, you have to also understand something, right? As a whole collective, the universe that we're in a sense, it has no rule book, right? So in a way, right, the only way that an action that somebody do is good and or bad is just based on the observer's opinion that is experiencing it. So for an example, right, if I kiss somebody or if I roll somebody, right, if I kill somebody, right, it's no different from a volcano erupting and or not erupting, right? So you have so when we jump into that, you have to understand that the universe is pretty much an interconnected body of energy, right? We're made of the universe. We're made of, nature, right? And so now when we understand that the universe is one interconnected being, we'll start asking questions. Okay, well, right? It's a universal intelligence, right? So now we can start okay, how do animals know how to navigate life? How do grass know how to grow? Right? How do trees know how to grow? Not only are they growing, but they're growing based off the most efficient way that is aligned with nature the best way possible. It's also kind of like your shadow side, right? Shadow work. We speak about shadow work. I ain't got to go deep in, but we also, shadow work. So what, is your shadow bad? And y'all know I speak about shadow work all the time. However, I say, hey, listen, don't just brush your shadow side off to the wind. No, become friends with it. Control it. Right? Now, when we jump into karma and things in that nature, however, polarity, I get it 100%. Boom, I just broke it down. Now we got to start speaking about how unnatural people do unnatural things. Give me 2 more minutes, y'all. Then we're going to dive into the community gathering. 4 more minutes. And then we get in the community gathering. I'm going to ask some people. So you also have to understand that unnatural people do unnatural things. So, right. So for an example, right. Let me see. Okay, so for an example, right? When I say unnatural people do unnatural things, right? We can speak about polarity, right? However, we have to also understand that when it comes to the natural beings, right, of this planet, of the universe, however the case may be, we'll start understanding that, okay, an individual like me, I'm not about to wake up, right? Just a small example. I'm not going to wake up, get an apple, pick an apple from a tree, bite into it. I see the seeds and I think to myself, how can I make this apple not be able to reproduce? How can I make this apple without seeds? Unnatural people do unnatural things. So although we're speaking about polarity and we speak about this universe, however, right, we can play God's advocate, right? We can play God's advocate with it, because now it's like, okay, there are certain beings that came into this realm that are not natural to this realm. And pretty much flip this shit over. So now, right, like I said, we can play God's advocate. So now, right, we can start asking, okay, so is polarity really a thing now? Because polarity is a thing 100%. However, when it comes to the natural beings of this realm, we'll start understanding that we're so out of tune and so out of touch with nature. We're so out of tune and out of touch with divine nature. Think about the root word of natural is nature. So when we're speaking about how unnatural people do unnatural things, and yet you have also a certain amount of a certain group of individuals like my that look like me that have been removed from our natural environment, our natural state of being with nature. See, before the lights was made, right? Before the lights were made, we rose with the sun and we laid with the sun. I'm talking about external lights. The sun was our only light source. So when the sun go down, it's pitch black. It's time to rest. When the sun is coming up, right? Being in touch, being in tune with nature. When a man is taking care of himself, when the sun is rising, he rise. His manhood rise. This is us being one with nature, being natural. This is also called the circadian rhythm. Being one with nature. The circadian rhythm is your entire glandular highway, literally being one with nature. Unnatural people do unnatural things. Talking about spirituality and religion. So if we go back in ancient times and we start realizing and studying how we would operate, we will be operating with nature. Now, when we go back to karma, when we go back to good and bad, right? In a sense, right? In our opinion, in our programming way of thinking, right? When it comes to good and bad, right? In ancient times, you will have individuals doing bad things. However, karma will come around instantaneously. Like, for an example, right? In ancient times, right? As a king, right? A peasant, not a peasant, but, a regular civilian wouldn't dare talk down on a queen or talk down on the king. Why? Because he gonna get bolted to the floor. He gonna get mummified. So now it's like, okay, if we look at it and we take the titles away, like good and bad, now we'll start realizing, like, shit, it just is. He ran his mouth to the king, he ran his mouth to the queen, he got bolted to the floor. So to really break down spirituality and religion, right? Just a quick breakdown, an hour breakdown. I told y'all, give me 4 more minutes, right? It's pretty much damn near all the same. But again, we have to start understanding and overstanding certain scriptures and certain ancient texts and certain things. Like, we have to stop reading and we have to start reading. Matthew 6:22, the light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. The light is referred as the kingdom of God. I'm about to add some people up in here, man. I know a lot of people want to say some, you know what I'm saying? I already know. Let's see. Let's add somebody up in here real quick. We got, let me scroll down. We got a nice amount of people. We got Skull Mute Understand. Man, come on to the front of the class. What's poppin'? I can explain it for you, but I can't understand it for you. I need time to myself and really get back to my heavy meditation and start doing shadow work. Hey, it's time for that. You know what you got to do, God. You know what you got to do. It's time for that. Tap in. All you was saying, understandable for sure. I appreciate it, man. I'm happy y'all understand, overstood, and understood what I was speaking on. All right, so commute. The light, he ain't jumping in. All right, bet. We're going to add, let me scroll down. We're going to add Anon Films, Infinite Abundance. You raise your hand, come on to the front of the class. What's popping? Your thoughts on the Orishas. I am the Orisha. What's popping, God?
How you doing, God?
I'm doing amazing. How you feeling?
I'm pretty good. I actually cleaning my pistol right now. but no, I wanted to get into the polarity and duality and everything, because just where I'm at in this whole experience, and I'm kind of like you. I was indoctrinated. I come from a Christian background, raised in a church. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just like into spirituality.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of confusion and a lot of like fake truth, fake woke truth, because you got like the new age stuff too, you know? So like my question is like, how do I break it down? Okay, you know the unnatural ones, right?
Facts.
The ones that don't supposed to be here, the stuff that got, the ones who got stuff going into chaos, the reason why stuff is out of order, out of whack.
Facts.
Technically, could they be us, but the different polarity? The yin, the yang to the yin? Because for a long time, I'm always like, it's them, it's them, it's them, it's them.
Yeah.
But I meditated on it. I don't want to say I meditated on it, but like, I don't want to say it's a download either. But like, I kind of felt like, what if the enemy is us?
Yeah.
What if that's our
polarity? Yeah.
Yeah, because wouldn't it just be polarity?
Yeah.
You know, because for a long time, is when I was a kid, you know, I'm like, there shouldn't be no such thing. Like if there was a God and the devil, God could just knock everything off, because it would be that. But if it's a yin and yang, it's just like magnets. It's it's balance.
You 100% right, because you know God. I mean, it's you know, it's in the Bible. God created good and bad. Good and bad comes
because
from
good and bad is just a perception due to how you feel.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's it. You know that I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you. That's a very interesting question. However, what I can say, and I can only speak off the knowledge that I done research.
Of course.
Like I said, that's a very great question. That's some shit I'm gonna have to meditate on. But based off, you know, the knowledge that I done researched, you know, these beings came from another universe.
Right.
These beings came from another planet, which was called Earth, which is why when they got down here, you know, they changed the name to now it's called Earth. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, these beings, these unnatural beings, they do, like, our DNA is nowhere near close to theirs. Like they have real animal insect DNA inside.
Right.
Right. So then if we even go back to ancient times when they weren't even here, nor were they ever existed, we operated on the natural
spectrum.
On the natural spectrum.
Let's say the 432 hertz frequency. If we were to say that's the natural God flow.
Yeah, so you know, we vibrated. We was operating.
It was in flow. The birds know to fly south when it's wintertime because they God flow.
Exactly. But see, even when we go back in ancient times, winter didn't even exist. Winter didn't even exist.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know, like I said, that's a great question. However, based off the research, it's like even beyond them, like it was
because my whole thing is going back to source.
Exactly.
Beyond Anunnaki, beyond 6,000 years, beyond 1,000 years. I'm talking like beyond atomical level, because you got Earth. I mean, I'm not gonna say screw the beginning of the Kemet or screw the beginning of the Kai, but you got there's no beginning because like you said, time ain't real. We're on the spectrum. It's this infinite spectrum.
And that's the thing. There's no beginning.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
so it's like we always been here, which means technically they always been here. Maybe not in the physical or fourth or fifth dimensional form, but in some form of energetic polarity, because energy can only be transferred, not created nor lost. So it's like, as I got the story, I thought we created these unnatural enemies. One of us sold one of us out and created one of these unnatural enemies.
Yeah.
And like you said, you got different people from different universes that wasn't even supposed to be interfering with us.
Facts.
When we get into that.
But see, I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but now what you just said, you said interference. See, I've also had conversations with certain beings, right? And they will ask me, okay, well, if these higher frequency vibrational beings exist, why do they not come down and save us? Or why do they not come down and give us more information, whatever the case may be? And I learned the law of interference, right? You can do what you can to try to send uploads to beings or whatever the case may be. However, the natural development of these beings, if you interfere with them, you're breaking the natural, you know what I'm saying, the natural flow of things. So I feel like, based off my research, when these unnatural beings did come to this realm, it broke the natural
flow of
growth.
nature, the flow of
because because
actual nature,
because
the
because
actual
now
structure.
because now when you actually look at past times and ancient times, what we're doing is we're actually degrading and not upgrading, because because these phones and these laptops we have, they've been
This is baby
existing.
technology. This
They
baby shit.
it's ba-
Yeah,
they
yeah.
those were existed thousands and thousands of years.
Exactly.
So I feel like I said off
See,
my
I don't want to cut you off either, but I feel like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Matrix, especially the Matrix 2, when he was talking to the architect. He
yeah.
said this was the 6th version, the 6th Matrix.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
So with that
Like
being
it's different
said,
versions. Yeah.
so I feel like because time ain't real, it's just this infinite. It's not time, it's cycles, it's energy cycles.
Yeah.
So I feel like we actually in the past right now, and we back on this cycle to where the future, all that happened, but we in the past, and that's why we got the downgraded technology. We don't got all our real DEA. We got like 3 or 5% activated.
Yeah,
It's weird, but it all happened already.
Yeah.
And I noticed for a fact, like, due to my dreams, I've been having a lot of dreams being in Egypt. Being the original Egypt being here. The original I've been seeing, and I can't explain it all but it was like it was a different time. But time, you know?
Yeah, facts. And that's why I brought up the phone thing and the laptop, because it's like, yo, we're actually, with us living in the past, is actually degrading.
Like for instance, I was talking to somebody and they didn't get it, but I was frustrated when I was on my laptop because I'm like, I got to keep plugging this charger in, and I'm like, this is baby shit. I'm like, there's energy in the air right now. I shouldn't have to be charging shit. So I was aggravated, and like she wouldn't even get where I was coming from. I'm like, this we already, like, this is baby technology. I mean, I'm supposed to be charging my shit like.
To even speak about past and us living in the past, now it's like time comes into question now, because it's like, if time don't exist and yet past, present, and the future exist all at the same time, how are we living in the past? You know what I'm saying?
I think somebody broke it down to me like a moving car.
And so yeah, I know what you're talking about.
With the mirror, the front view, and
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So now
that kind of goes back to what you were talking about being multidimensional. Dimension ain't just up and down. You kind of got like
you talking about,
you can technically say future and past are dimensions. In a sense.
You talking about time dilation. When you talking about as far as time speeding up and based on how far you going and stuff, and that's called time dilation. But what I'm speaking about is based off the spell of time, like, because now, like I said, based off my research and what I've learned, that when these beings came down here, invaded us, right? Winter wasn't real. They used sub-zero technology, right? All of our ancestors is in the Antarctica and beyond Antarctica, so we can't go out, they can't come in, right? So when they came down, we went to war, we lost, pretty much, prisoners of war. And so what happened was they created this time, right? Then what happened was they stole, pretty much, right, the information, our knowledge, our wisdom, made it theirs.
How they created the spell in the first place? By using R?
Say that again.
Isn't that how they created the spell in the first place?
Of
using
course,
R?
using our shit. Of course.
Yeah.
Facts. So what happened was they seen the technology, they seen the advance, the knowledge, the wisdom, and they took it to theirs. And what happens is that because these beings are unnatural, you have to understand that when people don't understand things, they become afraid of it and they want to destroy it. Right? And I'm talking about the unnatural beings. Unnatural people do unnatural things. Instead of trying to understand it, oh, I don't understand it, destroy it, get rid of it.
That's part of the indoctrinations. A couple years ago, I wouldn't have all these beautiful, I ain't gonna show them online because we got a lot of people looking, but I wouldn't have all these beautiful crystals sitting right here. Yeah. Because that was witchcraft. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So they
I feared a lot, and that stopped me from getting to where I am now. Yeah. It's the same thing with the. Go ahead. Yeah.
So what happened? So they took the information, the wisdom, the technology,
and they took it. But if the ones they did, the stuff they didn't destroy, they took it under their own wing. And what happened was they then introduced it to us slowly as they started to understand it. So for an example, I'm on an iPhone 13. A lot of people don't understand that this iPhone 13 was probably already created in 2008. They already had the knowledge.
Yeah.
It was already created. So what they're doing is they're keeping us in the time spell, and then we already got the iPhone 13
it's like
created,
artists do with their
what
music.
we're gonna do
It's
is
like
we're
artists
gonna
do with their
release
music.
it.
It's almost like what artists do with their music. Think about it. They make the music. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got the iPhone 13 in 2008, but we're gonna release it in 2021. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, like you said, man, those are some great questions, but I don't know, man.
Like that's one, and like you said, because that goes all into the whole who is God question and all that, or who is source, I should say.
Yeah.
Because then that means that goes back into it being several sources, or either meaning certain galaxies wasn't supposed to cross with certain galaxies. You got Christianity who say we wasn't supposed to leave the sky, we wasn't supposed to make no tower, baby. We was never supposed to climb to heaven. So even on that dimension of spirituality, we don't supposed to get to a certain level of know-it-all.
Yeah.
So it felt like, I mean, not that's according to that, not me. I'm a geek. I'm left-handed.
Okay, so boom, check this, right?
Yeah.
It's a movie, and you know the community. I advise y'all to watch it, right? It's a community. I mean, it's a movie called Thor, the new Thor, Love and Thunder, right?
Is it on Disney or is it in a movie?
It's on Disney. It just got on Disney. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Thor, Love and Thunder, right? The last few minutes of the movie, you will see them, and what they're doing is they're looking at, in a sense, source, meditating, and it's nothing but a black being with nothing but galaxies all around him, like inside of him, as like a black void. It's crazy. So it's like, even when it comes to knowing things, this goes also back to our journey. You know what I'm saying? Not being the beginning or end, or not being in it's just you know what I'm saying? So now, if you're all that is, if you're the beginning and the end, if you cannot be created or destroyed, why can't you know everything?
Because you are everything. Because you are everything. The knife can't cut itself. Alan Watts.
You are everything, and everything is you. However, it's the journey, and this also goes back to this time spell, because once you transition, and they programmed us to, once we transition, to go into the light, and that light is doing nothing but bringing us back down here to wipe our memory, to repeat the same time over, bring you back over and over and over again.
The spell, yeah. They don't want you to sin to go to the next level. So somebody figured out, somebody from before, it sounds like one of us, clearly, somehow, or somebody figured out before we got here how to keep us looped in. How to keep us looped in. Because I'm always saying, where was we before we was here?
Yeah.
Before we was birthed. Not the ball sack, not the sperm, because that's physical. Our spirit, our conscience, where were we? You know? And where do we go? So, like you said, this is definitely a system that's keeping us here. I've definitely been back here before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I sat here and done all the work or have my lapis to really know who that person was. But I was here before. I definitely was here before. You know? And I can't remember everything, but it's just the fact that I knew I was here before.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like I failed school.
Well, I don't.
It's like I failed school.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because again, when you came back down here, memory was wiped. You got to go within to figure out why you came back down here, because you're probably governed. You're probably being governed, or you probably are governing a group of celestial beings. And what happened is,
I do have children.
You probably chose to come down here. You probably just don't remember. So I wouldn't say have that perspective of like, you know, you failed it. Like, nah, you need to just go within and figure out why you came down.
Well, I'm really doing
you probably chose to come down here to do something, to, you know, complete something.
Yeah.
So
no, I definitely understand that. Because it go back to polarity. So I always go back to being a teacher, to being a student, to being God, to being the Son of God,
Yeah.
to it's this duality.
Yeah.
You know.
Facts. But you know, the Son of God. You know, were you in there?
I heard you.
That?
Yeah. I was there. I heard you. Yeah, you went deep on that. Yeah. Because even it go deep because in the Latin, I speak Spanish too. Soul, S-O-L, is son.
Facts.
Then you got soul, S-O-U-L.
Then when you break down the etymology of son, it's sown, S-O-N, and the definition of sown.
So you just put me on with the S-O-N-E.
Yeah.
You just put me on to that, which is sound. Because when you said what is sound, I was like vibration. You was like vibration. I was like, that's the guy. That's my guy right there.
See, that's why it's very important.
I started studying synaptics too.
You said what?
Synaptics, with pretty much how sound vibration creates shapes. So I'm telling people, think about what the music you listen to is doing to you, because we're made up of pretty much water, water, which holds a memory. So when you listen to sound vibrations, even when I'm talking to you guys right now, it's you know, it's giving off a vibration. It's creating cymatics, frequencies, shapes like crystals, like snowflakes, those shapes and stuff inside your body. So like it's very imperative for you to be aware of who and what you're listening to when it comes down to the music. And if you do want to listen to some low vibrational stuff, like balance it out. You know, make sure you I got this root light on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see you. You grounded. I see you.
But the thing is, I never got the root light on. I always got the purple with the blue on.
Yeah.
So I be two. And then people don't know what I'm talking about no more. So I gotta always ground myself. I be too out this world sometimes, you know. And I heard what you said about that you know, that Rose course about that heart chakra being that gateway. I definitely I'm in the middle of a separation right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely key. I'm always trying to go deeper into the what ifs and the what ifs, and the third eye being open and using my powers. You know, but when you still got to do, I still got third grade stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? Heart chakra work to do. So I definitely appreciate you putting on to that. Sure. I want you to know, it's a lot of people who don't always got the same. I've done door knocking before, so I got a certain type of balls just talking stuff. You got some people who never come on here and talk and never comment, but they may never reach out to you, but they definitely appreciate what you do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You definitely got me growing too. My garden and stuff on point. I'm in Chicago. It's cold now, so I've been it was hardest time for me yesterday. Picked up my tomatoes, my kale. My daughter grew some jalapenos. You know what I'm saying? It's cold, but keep doing what you're doing, boss. For real.
I appreciate you, God. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you tapping in. I appreciate you for being a part of the community. Because, like I always say, without the community, there is no community, bro. So I truly appreciate you, God.
You realize what you're doing, man. And think about the number of threes. You got more than 3 people in here, but one person tell 3, 3 people tell 3. It's a tree, and it's spread out. And now, you know, keep moving, God.
Facts. I appreciate you, God. Let's see who else we gonna add on here real quickly split. You know what I'm saying? That was powerful, man. I appreciate the God for tapping in. I'm gonna ask somebody else on here. Then we're gonna dive into the questions. Let me see. Let me scroll down. There's a lot of people trying to come up in. Let me see. Boom. It's a lot of people. And let me add Tori Evolving. You raised your hand. Come on to the front of the class. What's the problem? Oh, yeah. I did want to touch on the Orishas. Somebody asked me about the Orishas, too.
Peace, God.
Divine, how you doing?
It's low. The volume is low. Can you say something so I can hear you?
Yep.
Okay, I can hear you clearly now.
For sure. Let him who have ears hear.
All right. So I had some thoughts, and I wanted to know your perspective on the thoughts. So when I think about spirituality and I think about religion, I think spirituality is like what connects you to yourself. And when I think about religion, I think of the first word that came to my mind was religiously. When you do something religiously, consistently, right? So I think religion was created to keep you consistent in whatever practice that you're doing, to keep you consistent in being connected with yourself. But when people become imbalanced, then they created all of these different religions where you disconnected from yourself and you placed all of these rules on yourself to the point where you started praising something external of you versus nature. I mean, because it all is you, essentially, right?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So I 100% agree with the religion thing, for sure. 100%. You know, just I was just speaking more so just for the lack of better terms, so people can understand what I'm saying when it comes to the topic spirituality versus religion. So, but however, yeah, I completely agree. What you do repeatedly is pretty much a religion. Is what you do religiously. So I agree 100%. Well, yeah, I agree. I agree with what you were saying.
So that's kind of how I'm viewing it, where it's just like it just became imbalanced. It
Hmm.
became imbalanced, just like how food became imbalanced in a way, where it was like, oh, we can create, like how you gave the example of an apple. I automatically thought of a watermelon, how they're like, oh, we don't need seeds in watermelon because we're always having to spit it out. They're thinking that they're advancing in a way, but then in a way they're stagnating themselves. So that's
But
why
see, oh, my
go
bad,
ahead,
guys.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
sorry.
My bad. I ain't mean to cut your wisdom.
But
But that right there goes back to what me and the guy was talking about as far as unnatural people do unnatural things. Like when we was eating watermelons in ancient times before these unnatural beings got down here, were we really spitting out the seeds, or were we utilizing the seeds and making different seed watermelon seed powder that literally breaks down tumors and break down different diseases and different ailments inside the body? Or we're using the watermelon seeds to plant and regrow watermelon. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So yeah, it pretty much all stems back down to understanding how we were one with nature. You know what I'm saying? Before the unnatural beings came down here, before the unnatural beings programmed us, basically we went to war, we lost, and they reprogrammed us. The winners of the war always write the history books.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I agree. And that's just how I was viewing spirituality as well, where it's just connecting with yourself, connecting with nature.
Hmm.
That's what spirituality is to me.
Facts.
It's all about the connection with self and how you, and I feel like that's what everyone is chasing anyway. How can I
Hmm.
connect back with myself? But people do it in imbalanced ways. They start doing drugs, they start doing it through food. They're constantly searching at the same time how to
Yeah.
connect back with themselves.
But
But
see, even when it comes to spirituality, that's the thing. Like before we were programmed and indoctrinated, we had our own culture. We had our own way of doing things, right? The way even boiled down to the way we even plated our food.
mm.
It was by spiritual connection. The way we even built our houses and the way the rooms were set up. It was by spiritual design. Like everything we did was through spirit. But when these unnatural human beings that was more flesh than spirit came down and were created, that's when we lost touch with, okay, knowing not to eat potatoes and steak, knowing not to eat starch on starch, but supposed to balance it out,
So
right? The
what do
laws of Ma'at.
you keep saying when these unnatural beings came? What do you mean by came down? Because you keep saying that, I'm like, okay, that's going right over my head because I feel like, okay,
Because oh, my bad, guys, go ahead.
go ahead, because like I just said, this is a little confusing when you say they came down. Where did they come from? Who are you referring to?
Yeah, so what I mean by came down, I basically mean that they came from another planet. They were created, right? They were
Mm-hmm.
created by another being. And this is my perspective, by the way. This is just
No,
my
I'm it's the Capricorn, okay? It's
for
just the
sure.
Capricorn face. I'm thinking at the
For
same
sure.
time. Go ahead.
So these unnatural beings were created for certain reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what happened was on their own planet, which was called Earth in the beginning, their own planet was called Earth. On their own planet, that where they was created, they became very violent. They became you know what I'm saying, very they just became super roguish, I guess I would, you know what I'm saying, very animalistic. And so basically the beings that actually created them kicked them out of the actual planet where they were created, and they came down here, which, you know what I'm saying, which then when the war happened, right? This was about 7,000 years ago. This is where the ice wall came from, the sub-zero technology. This is where the Antarctica come from, because Antarctica has different beings, have our ancestors frozen in them, and beyond the Antarctica and etc. So,
Where did you get this information? This is all new to me. This is all new to me.
oh really?
Look, you like, oh, I gotta go over there. Like, no, like I really want to know. I'm intrigued by
So how about
this.
this? The perfect place for you to start to start really understand that, and for the community, is to start doing not just Google research, but some deep research about Yakub, right? He was a
Yakub.
scientist. Yakub, Yokub, right?
Yakub.
Yeah, this is a teachings of certain. This is a teaching of certain you know, another belief, another not religious, but a religious group, but a practitioners group called the Five Percenters. However, the Bible, the Holy Bible, even speaks about a group of beings coming down, or coming from a distant place, right? Invading, you know what I'm saying, and etc. So just look up, do some real deep research about your cool, not just the first page of Google, and then go from there.
Right.
Because once you start
Okay.
doing that, then you will be aligned to, you know, what you need to know.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna catch up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I
Peace.
appreciate you. There we go. Yeah, the community dropping the names, man. Y'all see it. Let me see. Let's jump into these questions, and we're gonna ask some more people, because it's a lot of people that want to jump into this. Oh, yes, a lot of people. All right, Bill. Let me see. Somebody asked, hey, do you have another Instagram aside from this? No, I do not. This is my only Instagram, The Blood That Heals. I do got a music page, but yeah, so the Orishas, right? So somebody asked me about the Orishas. Now, this is the thing. I spoke about the Orishas. I believe I spoke about the Orishas either last week or Monday, when we had the conscious conversation. However, when it comes to the Orishas, a 100%, 100% frequency, 100% vibration. They definitely exist. The Orishas exist. The energy, the personification, energetic beings of the Orishas exist. However, right, I say that I am the Orishas, right? I'm connected to the Orishas. You feel what I'm saying? I'm connected to everything. I am everything, and everything is me. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Orishas, yeah, I am that. I am that. I've been that. Day by day, I'm gonna get closer to that, and I'm gonna forever be that. You feel what I'm saying? So I am the Orishas. All the, all when it comes to controlling the waters, when it comes to controlling thunder and lightning and the weather, right? Like all of that, yeah, facts. Like you have the power to do that. I don't know if y'all remember, but I think the last time, the first time that we came on a community gathering after my 2-week purging, you feel, and I felt that the energy was gonna be high. Y'all don't remember when my apartments, my only apartment was the only one. All the lights went out. Everybody else lights on. Then as soon as we started alive, it started raining and thundering. Why? Because we are connected to the Orishas. We can control the weather by way of just energy and frequency. We are everything and everything in us. And so when we came together and we all felt the energy, when we got on the live the first time, again, after my 2-week purge, we all felt the energy, and we all remember the live messed up. You feel what I'm saying? My apartment, my apartment was the only apartment that went completely black. And that's because when we come together, the energy is high. You feel me? So I am the Orishas. We are the Orishas. The Orishas is us. We have all rights, and that shit is our let me see. Somebody asked, let's talk about chakras, how to unblock them. The best way to start unblocking your chakras first is, I would most definitely say do a cleanse first, because your chakras is pretty much aligned to your. So somebody real quick, somebody asked, do you feed them? Feed who? The Orishas? Nah, I feed my ancestors. You know, my Orishas is my ancestors in that, but I feed my, spiritual work. But however, your chakras is aligned to your glandular highway. All right. So based off your glandular highway is what controls and what tunes and keep your body in harmony, right? Your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, your thyroid, parathyroid, all the way down. You feel what I'm saying? So the best way I could tell you first to unblock your chakras is to cleanse, right? Do a cleanse, do an internal cleanse, do a spiritual cleanse, right? Then what you can do is, right, you can dedicate a week, right? You could dedicate, like, let's say this week, right? You could dedicate this week to align your chakra, right? We don't know what a gland U highway, what? Man, we don't know what a gland U highway is. The glandular highway, just look it up. But that's not how you spell it though. That was funny. But so yeah, so what you can do is you can dedicate each week to every chakra, right? So let's say, or you could dedicate 1 month. If you want to like go extensive deep with unblocking your chakras, you can dedicate each month to unblocking each chakra, right? So let's say this entire month you can dedicate meditating, doing different sound frequency bowls and sound frequency sound frequency healing and sound, what is it? Is it sound healing, sound detoxing, right? So you can meditate on your root chakra. You start with your root chakra, right? Then the solar and the solar and what is the sacral, right? You can start with those three, controlling, like for an example, one of the best ways that I controlled, I unblocked my chakra, my root chakra, was being able to control my sexual urges, learning about my sex energy, my high sex energy, so it won't get out of hand, right? You know what I'm saying? Learning how to control that, right? Another thing when it comes to your solar or your sacral, learning about different emotions, right? Ego, you know what I'm saying? Being jealous or hunger, controlling what you put inside of your body, controlling your fasting. You feel what I'm saying? So it's different ways you can do it. The best way you could do is just start looking it up. I would definitely say that. Start looking it up. Let's see. I'm gonna answer one more question, then we're gonna ask somebody on here. Somebody asked me, would you still eat a seedless lemon or lime? I would not. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you. I have not eaten. I don't even tap in with lemons because I know they're hybrid. I just do key limes all the time. I bust down them key limes. Hey, I go noodles. I ain't finna play no games. Let me see what else we got. Will you do a topic on shadow work? I spoke about shadow work a lot. So what I advise you is going back maybe like 4 or 5 community gatherings, because I spoke about shadow work. I speak about shadow work a lot. If y'all want me to actually go deeper with shadow work or give some examples, you know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know. I'm about to add somebody on real quick, and then we gonna just continue the community gathering. There's a lot of people trying to get on. I love it. Oh yeah, y'all tapped in today, huh? Okay, y'all tapped in today. Hey, buddy. All right, boom. We gonna add Iyana, Yeni. What's popping? You raised your hand. Come on to the front of the class.
Peace.
Divine, how you doing?
How are you? I'm good. Oh shoot, we got this. Oh, but no, I had a question. I didn't
Talk to
know so tap me in, but no, my question was, how do you feel about like outer body experiences? So like, say if how we receive downloads, everybody is totally different. So speaking from my own experience, how do you feel about or touch bases in everybody in here as well on outer body experience and receiving downloads with like, because I did a lot of research on like Kundalini awakenings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I seen that there was a lot of people who had experienced like Kundalini awakenings and like they couldn't control it and they ended up in the psych ward, et cetera, et cetera. So like me, for instance, I had an outer body experience and no drugs. I smoked a little weed that night. I did. But besides that, no drugs. I've never done any drugs. The only thing I've ever probably took was like shrooms before, but I had an outer body experience and I could not control it. Receiving downloads. This was back in 2019. It happened November, Friday the 13th. And I could not control anything. It happened for about 24 hours and I ended up in the psych ward. And then after the psych ward, like once I got home and stuff like that, I just started doing like research and like et cetera, and I came across a lot of people who experienced the same thing, but it was just like, how is this real? Like, how is this really happening? Or like, what is this? Like, what does this really mean? And then I came to the conclusion with the trying to understand or understand the prophets, or however you call it. I'm not really sure, but that in that sense, I don't know. Maybe that's just like what I'm trying to say.
Well, one thing I can say when it comes to outer body experiences, right? We have to understand, right, that and like when you tap in and you start doing that kind of work, the one of the best things that we all need to make sure is that we're grounded and we're in a great headspace, right? And the reason why I say that is because, right, when we look at these individuals in the psych ward and got these different ailments in the mind, and they start talking to themselves, or they saying they seeing beings.
Yeah.
There is a possibility that these beings, what they call homeless people or people in the psych ward, these beings have gifts, right?
Right.
And a lot of times these beings has basically probably did what you did and probably never snapped out of it. And they're still in those dimensions or experiencing the same things. Yours lasted 24 hours. There are people experiences lasting for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years and still growing through it and still going through it. So that's one of the most important things. You want to make sure that you're grounded and you want to make sure that you're in a right headspace. Because outer body experiences, I mean, you're not this body. You know what I'm saying? That's first things first. You're a spirit, you're a soul. You know what I'm saying? So you're not this body anyway. So outer body experience is natural. When you dream, right? That's your dream is a journey. Like you're having a trip. You feel what I'm saying? Like you're having a trip with no shrooms, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you having an out of body experience, that's natural. However, when you're intentionally doing it, you just want to make sure that you're grounded and you're in a correct headspace. You want to make sure that you're divinely protected as well, because a lot of these times, even the beings that we're speaking about in the psych ward or on the streets, whatever the case may be, these beings might have had an outer body experience, left their body, and a whole nother entity is now inhabiting their body, and now this entity do not know how to leave nor how to operate in this reality.
Yeah.
Another movie, probably one of the scariest movies I've watched, is called Insidious. This movie Insidious actually speaks about.
I would not watch stuff like that. I just
but see, we're not watching it anymore.
Yeah.
We're watching it. You feel what I'm saying? Insidious, the whole series of Insidious speaks about having an outer body experience, being able to astral project, and once you astral project, being super far away from your body to not go back to your body, and now a whole other entity has inhabited your body. So when it comes to out of body experiences, you know what I'm saying, I'm all for it. Just being intentional and making sure that you're divinely protected and you're in the right headspace and grounded.
Yeah, especially when I had the experience, I was literally, I think I had just was getting into, because growing up, my mom would always have us like watching documentaries, like Hidden Colors, etc., etc. And I grew up in the church home, but I never could get exactly how we was talking about. I could never get the answer. It was always, you can't ask this, you can't talk about this, you can't question that. So once it got to that point, I started doing my own research, and it seemed as if once I started getting deeper and deeper and more open, that's when all the attacks and like started happening, because that only happened one time. And I mean, afterwards, it just seemed as if I don't want to say things like got more intense. It just became more as like being in the present, because like before it really happened, I was having like deja vu like all the time, or I was having synchronicities all the time, like still having synchronicities and stuff like that. But it really, like if I have deja vu, it's like I'm living in the deja vu. Like how people be like, oh, I just had deja vu. It's not like that. And then I see people who's asking like, what did I see? What did I hear? And stuff like that. So clairaudiency and certain things like that are very real. So during that period of time, I was just basically hearing like multiple people voices that were around me or people that I knew, as if whatever it was that was probably like trying to tell me or foretell me was being spoken through other people. You feel me? So it kind of was like weird, but it wasn't weird because certain things that did not happen, as far as like right now I can sit here and a lot of people don't know me and they probably be like, oh, this is like, this ain't real, whatever the case may be. But during that period of time, this is before COVID hit, I can be the like only person that could be like, I can't say that I'm the only person, but during that period of time, I got a download to myself about COVID. This is Friday, the 13th of November. This is before anybody announced COVID. Okay. So that happened. And then I started hearing things about like injections and Popeyes and like all type of weird stuff, you know? So I don't want to say weird. So we're going to use different words. I don't want to use weird, but I had those type of encounters, and it's just like, I kind of like, I didn't get discouraged or anything like that, but it kind of like made me stand back from the community, because it's like, how can I come and tell stories like this, which I've talked on a lot of different people's lives about stuff like this, because I feel like it needs to be talked about in the community, especially within our community, because nobody knows. And then they probably try to take it as autism and ADHD or as all these different things, when all in all, we are God beings living a human experience. So it's like, we don't know what could happen or how we can receive it or when we will receive it, because me receiving that was just like, it took a toll. It took a toll to a point where I didn't want to accept it. But now I'm at the point where I'm very accepting. Like, I'm a medical assistant. I've been in the field for over 4 years, and it took me away from being spiritual at one point. And it just like, it's a lot. It's just a lot.
Well, yeah, well,
and it's like another thing, when you said something about being vulnerable in the vulnerable state, like at that point, I was like, I don't want to say I was vulnerable. I can't say I was very vulnerable, and I was just wanting to know so much because of the things that were not being answered. I feel like that's why it happened. But I don't want to always say that it happened to me, but because it most definitely happened for me, because now I'm able to speak about this. I've came across a lot of people with the same experiences. I'm talking about even having to get called to churches to try to heal certain people. I'm talking, somebody literally called me to a church to try to do an exorcism. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I ain't never did nothing like that. I'm not the one to do nothing like that. But yeah, I've had situations like that, and I just feel like we just need to talk about it, because there's stuff like that that actually happens, and there's people that are in the psych where, like, all the people that I met that was in there actually have mental capacities or mental things or dealt with things that I couldn't even fathom. You understand? So it's like, for me to be in there and also have the mental that I have, it's like, I don't think this is the same, you know, but I can't say it's not the same. So yeah, that's all.
Well, one thing I wanna articulate before you go is that, first off, you have a gift, right? Like that's pretty much what you're explaining. Like, you have a gift. You're able to see, hear, and astral project, intentionally astral project. That's pretty much all you're growing through, right? However, when you speak about, feeling attacked and this, that, and the third, this is why, like I was saying earlier, like, it's very important to just make sure that you're protected and that you're grounded. Because one thing about it, you know, and I always bring up about the new Doctor Strange movie. It's a scene in the movie where, you know, he basically went against the law of nature, and, you know, the souls of the underworld tried to control him. However, he knew, and he developed in that same time frame the perspective and the belief that he's able to control, he's able to utilize those shadow beings for his greater good. So I just said that to say that you have to understand that there's nothing more powerful than you. You know what I'm saying? With you being in this realm, there's nothing more powerful than you, right? And one thing that I learned as well is that, you know, you can also, like, the main chakra, the main place where us as beings can get attacked from is our crown chakra, right? So when you are doing this work and you are astral projecting and whatever the case may be, you want to make sure that your crown is covered. You know what I'm saying? With a head wrap, and I would say a white head wrap, or like or you could do a black head wrap as well, because I believe black is, you know, to ward off and protection and stuff as well. So, and, you know, I wear head wraps a lot, you know what I mean? And I just learned that, I believe like a week ago, but yeah, you know, subconsciously I was wearing head wraps a lot to protect my crown, you know what I'm saying? Because that's where, that right there is what connects you to the ethers, that connects you to the unifield, that connects you to other dimensions. And by that connection, other beings in other dimensions can definitely infiltrate your crown, and, you know, it's up from there. So
I'm getting chills. This is confirmation for me. Yes, a piece. I thank you for this, for sure. Because I've been covering my hair, but I haven't been covering my hair. And then the moment I was trying to, like, order head wraps and get more head wraps, things just kept happening. So now I'm just
because what happening was you had beings that was trying to keep you from ordering the head wrap so they can keep infiltrating you. You got to pay attention to the signs. The signs and symbols are only for the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is what controls our mind. So we have to be more tapped into the subconscious mind and be very intentional what we're feeding our subconscious mind and what's being fed to us, and also ask for discernment to be able to decipher the messages and the signs. So,
peace. And before I go, one more thing.
For sure.
So, converting to trying to completely stop eating meat and doing dairy, what would you suggest? Because, like, right now, I'm seeing, like, my provider and stuff like that when it comes to certain things, because I'm all about holistic and healing myself. But I don't know what would be the best route to just start, like, if I wanted to start tomorrow.
What? Stop eating meat and eggs?
Yeah. I don't eat eggs, but as far as
dairy, I mean, my bad. I don't know why I just said eggs.
Eggs, because eggs, it's crazy you said it. I cannot stand
I don't know why I just said eggs.
Woo, but yeah, so no, I'm basically saying, like, okay, so I just only eat sometimes chicken here and there, or chicken or turkey. And I'm trying to completely stop because I suffer from, like, GI problems and stuff like that. Excuse me. So I'm basically trying to figure out, like, I've been doing research and I've been talking to certain people. So, like, I close with a guy named Official Courtney Bell. I've been talking to him, and I've been watching, like, Yaki Awakening and a certain, like, other people. But it's like they tell you what to take, but I don't know specifically, like, how would you start? Like, if you wanted to just go to a straight cleanse, straight diet, like, should I start juicing, or if I should just go straight to juicing and herbs, or, like?
Well, yeah. So this is the thing, right? First off, you know what I always tell individuals that ask me about, you know, different, you know, healing or detoxing modalities and things in that nature. I always ask them to, first off, get a journal and write down your why. Like, why are you, why? You feel what I'm saying? And the reason being is because whenever you are doing your cleansing, whenever you are detoxing, it gets hard. You know what I'm saying? It becomes difficult to grow through it. And so as you're growing through that, you have to always be able to go back to your why am I doing this? That's first thing first, right? Now, the next thing after that to start is depending on how much meat or whatever the case you may eat, I would advise practicing eating once a day first. And the reason being is because if you just completely stop, now I'm not saying you can't completely stop. If you want
Yeah,
to
you
just
can.
stop 100%, right? However, it's this thing called healing symptoms, right? Detoxification symptoms. And what detoxification symptoms are is that when we're eating these synthetic proteins and complex proteins and toxins and stuff like that, once we stop eating it, remember our body was created to heal itself. So once we stop intaking these chemicals, what's going to happen is your body is now gonna go into its own detoxification. Before fruit, before herbs, your body is going to go through its own detoxification process. And what's going to happen is your face going to start breaking out. You're going to start getting headaches. You're going to be irritated. You're going to start having flu-like symptoms, having to blow your nose, cough up mucus, because your body has put itself in its own detoxification stage. So
At work, we call it fight or flight.
Huh?
I say at work in the medical field, we call it fight or flight.
Well, no, that's completely
Sorry
different.
for your wheezing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's completely different. Fight or flight is releasing adrenaline. That ain't that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the body actually releasing the backed up feces, releasing the backed up toxins that's not being able to get released. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with the body. And so you can definitely start with herbs. I most definitely would recommend juicing. Like juice, I just got a community. We just went off a 7-day juice fruit fast, 7 days. So definitely fruit juice.
It's so hard up north. Like being up north is so.
What you mean? Because of the fruit?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, the best thing that I can say is, can you at least find seeded watermelons? Okay.
Barely. It's very, very rare, and it's like maybe like at a little market fresh place or something like that, but it's not a guarantee.
So just do your best. Try to find some seeded watermelons.
It's crazy we keep talking about watermelon. I'm so sorry to cut your wisdom, but we keep talking about watermelon. I made a mistake. I have a money tree. I made a mistake and took a seed. Well, I didn't make a mistake. I did it sneaky. Because this plant is me and my partner's plant, and she didn't want me to put the seed inside of the plant. I did it anyways. This has been like months and months and months now. I have a watermelon growing inside my money tree now. So
you go.
I don't know how to get it. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to move it into another pod afterwards or whatnot, or outside, because it's cold here. So I'm not really sure.
Well, what I would say, just do your best to try to find some seeded watermelons, melons, period. You can definitely get some grapefruit. You can juice grapefruits. Try to stick to some natural spring water as much as possible. And I mean, mostly, basically, what I'm just telling you is be on as much liquid as possible, right? Yeah. And the reason why I'm saying fruit, right, instead of water, because of course, fruit juice, H3O2, has more minerals, has more biophotons, and it has more, properties inside of it than water. And actually water can and has the ability to dehydrate you because of the lack of minerals that it has, right? It starts stripping your minerals after a long period of time. So juice. You could definitely get some herbs. If you want to get herbs from, the guy Yaki, shout out to the great teacher.
Yes.
If you want to reach out to me, you can. I would say just email me, because the DMs is not.
Can I write it down? Because I wouldn't.
What, my email?
Yeah.
Yeah, thebloodthatheals@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, just email me. You know, we could probably do a consultation, or we could probably just keep it brief on email and then just go from there. Because honestly, detoxing is pretty easy, man. It really is. It's just about growing through it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and it's the mind too.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
it.
mind.
That's
Mind.
it. That's it. So yeah, fruit juice is definitely needed, 100%. Somebody,
Recommended a juicer for
I got
sure.
you.
NutriBullet or uh.
I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you. That Nama,
Huh?
the Nama juicer.
Denama?
Yeah, the Nama.
Oh.
It's in my link. It's in my bio. You can click the link for the juicer, and you can use my discount code.
All
You
right,
get
I
you
know
get
that's
50.
right.
Yeah, you get $55 off. But the
Okay.
Nama is amazing though. The Nama is fire. It's not just for me to make a sale or nothing like that, but that shit is fire. Like you can
Because I
literally,
mean, the NutriBullet that I have,
yeah,
it damn near sound like it's gonna blow
yeah.
before it actually do the work, but it do
Yeah.
what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that Nama,
For the most part.
the Nama gonna get you right for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Because one thing I like about the Nama is that you can literally prep all your fruit and just throw it in there, let it juice, and you ain't gotta put nothing else in there. You can
See,
go
and
out.
that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, you can go out and do, and you can prep some more juice, and prep some more fruits while it's juicing on its own. Like it's fire. So yeah, the Nama is amazing. And one thing about the NutriBullets and the blenders, however, even to the community, if that's all you have, 100%, you know what I'm saying? Use it, do the best you can. However, do your due diligence to try to get something that is more slow and cold press. Because what happens is that these blenders that's blending up this fruit, it heats it up, right?
Yeah, and that's what this one is doing. It's
Yeah,
heating it up,
yeah,
and
it
that's
heats
basically
it up,
like
and what
taking
happens
away.
is similar to like pasteurizing it. When you pasteurize, you pretty much cooking the
Cooking
minerals out of it. Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
So, peace. Thank you.
for sure,
Thanks for
got
the
it.
confirmation. Most
For
definitely.
sure,
Then
for sure.
you said find your why. My mentors probably said that about 2 times today.
Yeah,
So 3 lux a charm, and then the other guy, he said something about 333. I go by 333. For some reason, I just resonate with that number all the time. So
yeah, for sure.
all righty.
Appreciate you, Clash.
Okay.
All right,
I don't know how to get out of here.
I got you. Yeah, the Nama J2, that's the one I got. But that motherfucker is fire. That bit fire. Look at that, boy. All them vitamins and minerals. Man, but I drink like a god. You feel me? Like, you see, I be swishing it around my mouth too. Because a lot of y'all don't understand that the properties of this juice breaks down the bacteria in your mouth, which also breaks down the plaque on your teeth. People ask why my teeth so white. When you eat a Granny Smith apple, it breaks down over 70% of the plaque on your teeth. So yeah, when I drink my juice, you know what I'm saying? I'm a juice connoisseur. You feel me? Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who else finna come up in here real quickly split. You feel me? Word to my mother, you know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody said juice the new mouthwash. I ain't gonna say all that. You feel me? I ain't gonna say all that. I say the coconut oil, you feel me? Then you can with the juice, but sheesh. But nah, that's what's up though, man. Juice, y'all. Juice, man. Ain't nothing like that juice, man. It's a lot more questions. Let's see. Matter of fact, let's ask somebody else up in here real quickly. Split, you feel me? Or to my mother, you know what I mean? Hey, I don't know about y'all, B, but yo, it's been mad brick out here, B. Word to my mother, like, it's been mad break. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the breaks. I do not like it when it's break. You feel me? Niggas gotta whip out the Timbs and shit, the hoodies. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's, you feel me? Like, I don't know what's going on, but it's squabbling outside, B. Word, you know what I mean? I'm not feeling the breaks, you feel me? I like that. I like it when it's hot, you know what I'm saying? When the sun is out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, nigga, we outside, you know what I'm saying? Word to my mother, you know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Let me add somebody else up in here real quickly. Split. Cut it out. Stop it. All right, let me see. Who else wanna let me see. Let me add Soul by Gina. Let me see. Let me add you up in here. You raise your hand. Come on to the front of the class. What's poppin'?
Hey, sweetie pie. I hope you don't think I got to do this while I'm talking to y'all so I could comb all my hair out.
For sure. Do your thing.
So I have so many notes. I wanted to kind of touch on some things, but I like to kind of start with a thank you because I think as people, we pour into a lot of people, but people don't say thank you. So this is literally my third time watching your live, and I'm very, very protective over what I watch and see and hear. I'm also vegan 13 years, but I started my journey 30 years ago. So I haven't eaten pork, turkey, cattle byproducts, eggs, anything like that in 30 years.
Wow.
But it's 13 since I've been 100% plant-based.
Wow.
But we thank you for your time and your energy. And I'm sorry the way I'm pulling this, because for real, this is no joke. I'm gonna do one side and then I'll do the other side tomorrow. Because otherwise, if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you for offering this space, this safe space. I was reading what some people was saying, and it's very, very important for you to know that you're like this super light. And you said you're 26, and I don't listen to just anybody. And like, so age really don't have nothing to do with it, because my yogi, I've been training 3 years. My yogi's 32, and I have a saying, because I'm an entrepreneur, I have 2 businesses, self-employed, 100%. So I have, and I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, you in the A?
Right up in here is super West, and I just love it. Wow. It's popping, because you go to the West End, and if you want to eat vegan food, they got the Hebrew bakery across the street. You can get some cupcakes. They have Dada.
Water Dada, Tassili's.
Oh my God, Tassili's so great. They have African Centric Network. I get all my earrings from here, girls. These are like, okay, so if you buy $1, check this out. This is how you start a business. I went to the island because my peoples are from Borinquen. And I went to the island, and like all the girls love these earrings. And so at this spot where I go to in Atlanta, they have all the earrings. Like you could get 100 for $1, right? But like everywhere I go, females like this. And then I go to like the island, and the men love it too. So then I purposely, like because I know how to make money from air. So like when I go into a store and I got compliments about this, I said, you know what? I'm gonna find me some females to be my soldiers. To wear these earrings, right? So like I got a list of 5 females over there already in the island, because I spent 3 weeks before the hurricane hit over there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start another business. Not because I need the money for these, because I got 2 businesses. Like I could chill and don't work, period. Like I sleep and make money. But the thing is that like, I feel like when you're an entrepreneur or self-employed, that you always have to like tap into something that you really, really love. Like I really, really love veganism. I really, really love helping people to heal. Like the sister was saying, when quarantine happened, I was like, day one, I said, this is game. I said, this is some bullshit. And I think back to saying thank you for this space. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to mainstream media. I'm always studying. I've been studying my ancestry 1.5 years. I be up at like 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. like down deep in a rabbit hole, like pulling all these puzzles out, right? And the reason why you're important for us is because, and I don't have to know the people on the live to know that everybody had a white Jesus on the wall. And my girl was over here last night, and we were laughing our ass off. She was like, girl, everybody in my house so dark, and I'm not into labels because black's an adjective in a person. Is so we need to get away from calling each other exonyms. Those are like when a foreigner pulls up to your hood, right? And they're like, I like that bodega right there. I'm gonna change Maria's bodega to Bob's Dollar Flea Market LLC, put his flag down and be like, that's my block. I'm gonna change your people. I'm gonna change this name on this block or whatever. And then you don't even know who you are. So we need to come out of that label, those color of law words, which are colorable labels that don't allow us to know who the hell we are. And that's like the space I'm in right now, because I realize who I am. But the reason why you're important in this space is because, oh my Lord, I go back to my family and I say, guess what I found? And mind you, I got my mother's DNA. I got my father's DNA report. I got my sister, my brother, mine. And like, I analyze everything. I go back to my people and I'm like, oh my God, you won't believe what they did to us. Like, I know what the hell happened. I know that we've been here before. I know that this is just a vessel, and every time you think that you don't have somebody standing next to you, you better best believe you got every single ancestor from 175,000 to 200 years in your blood right now. Right. Talk with you. So if you've never been here before, then how is it when you take your DNA test, all your haplogroups come out? The haplogroups are basically codes for the ancestors. They go from A to Z. Just think of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, right? A to Z. Now, I personally have every single freaking indigenous, aboriginal, First Nations, okay, ancestors in my blood. That's letter A, letter C, letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D, letter X. I got that. Now that's just that. My shit is so confusing because I'm supposed to be the so-called Puerto Rican, but that's literally, so for the Boricuas in the chat, drop like a flag or something so I can see who you are, because I gotta tell you what they did to our people. I know you know about the colonization of the so-called Puerto Rico, which means rich port, okay? But the word Puerto Rican, that's literally in law the word ward, W-A-R-D. The word ward means a minor or an incapacitated adult. What does this mean? That means that you as a 26-year-old cannot make decisions for yourself. So guess who made the decision for you? The pull-up people that came to your block. They changed Maria's Bodega. They named it a different name or whatever. And then they basically give you a nickname. So let's just specifically talk about the island right now, because a lot of you be talking about you looking for land. Like, you sleeping right now because there's land in Borinquen. There's land in Borinquen. Soy hija de Maunabo, Yabucoa, Orocovis, Gurabo, Carolina. That's me, okay? I am the First Nations, ancient, indigenous, aboriginal that came to this land when at the North Gate, we had to wait 2,000 years to cross through America when it was one Pangea, okay? So when your family or whatever, somebody's doing something for you so that you could be great, it's super disrespectful not to be great. Because why? Because my ancestors moved the freaking ice-capped mountains for us to rise. And then you got these females on TV or whatever. That's why I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the radio. Listen, I'm not trying to say you privileged to have me right now, but listen, for me to even be on your live right now, to be on here 3 times, trust and believe you're a light. That's why I always start with thank you for this space, because these conversations I can't have with my people. The most like disturbing shit about doing your DNA and studying, right? and then coming into the truth. Like Dick Gregory just recently said, he was like, this is dangerous, okay, to come into the truth. The reason why is because when you put the glasses on,
never take them off.
You can never take them off.
That's law.
So then as I'm studying, because as the Boricua, and by the way, the sovereignty in the name of my people is not Puerto Rican, it's Boricua. Our island, our ancient island, that island y'all be talking about, let's go to Puerto Rico. Don't go over there and look at no strip clubs, because we don't do the strip club over there. What you need to be doing over there is going to find you some land, or you need to talk to me, because I got boots on the ground. I'm that hustler. I be tapping them door. Brother say he doorknob. That's what I do. I'm the make it happen cat. So I pull up over there. I be knocking on the door, and I'm like, Buenas tardes, and somebody's grandma answer, and I'm waiting for grandma to come out, because I want to know about that house next door that's abandoned that nobody's living in. Because why? Because I want to be able to provide housing to people. That's what I do. One of the things I do. But when we talk to our families about what we're talking about now, especially religion, especially the Boricua, Puerto Rico is a corporate ward of a nation, foreign, state, equal colonies. A lot of people don't know the word United States is nothing different than Bob's Dollar Flea Market LLC. It's a corporation. I got a corporation. I got two. You can have a president and a vice president. I'm voting for who? What are they doing for my people? We just had a storm. Do you see anybody going over there to help my people? No, we help ourselves. There was a Harvard study that talks about how people be talking about you from America, you from the United States. What you're really saying is that you're from a corporate ward. I mean, you're a corporate ward of a nation state. Like, you're not from a corporation. There's no such thing as a corporation. And I'm saying, like, the corporation cannot be soil. Impossible. Bob's Dollar Flea Market LLC cannot be soil. That's the United States Republic. That's the United States of America. In caps, they're not American. You cannot be American and be a LLC. It's all my little notes. It's a piece of paper right here. So the indoctrination starts with the birth certificate.
You're strong.
If you born on this land, unknowingly, when they give you a birth certificate in the hospital, you already getting enrolled under the corporation. Look at Cornell Law School website and just plug in United States. It's gonna bust out with federal business, okay? So, like, one of the things I'm working on this year, and again, these conversations I cannot have with my family. And when I use this word, I'm gonna tell you, trust and believe, I know it means an adjective and people are a noun, but I'm super pro-black. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm hardcore like that. And my mother calls me, she's sometimes like, she's like, oh, you sound like a racist. I said, no, ma'am, Pam, no. People that have been enslaved and colonized and all that shit cannot be a racist. You're talking about prejudice, and yes, I can be, because my haplogroup from my maternal side, A2, is a fucking bottleneck. Do you know what a bottleneck is? A bottleneck is basically, in a nutshell, everything they ever taught us in school about Christopher got lost in the fucking sea, Columbus. My people found them. My people found him. And the problem with us Boricuas is that we have a beautiful heart. And sometimes it's like a curse. And we kind of pour into people and love on people, but then they use us, right? So we should have left that motherfucker in the water so he could drown. That's what we've done. But no, I could imagine our Boricua people, like, we got this saying, it's called Ay Bendito. It's kind of like, it kind of means like, bless your heart. Like in Georgia, they say, bless your heart. We do this Ay Bendito all the time to people. Why? Because the Harvard study said that the Boricuas are 80% community minded versus here on the land called America is really Turtle Island. We are fucking 20% community minded. Motherfucker don't give a fuck if you starve on your block, okay?
Fact.
So what? The reason why and it's no government really. I mean, a government is not. Listen, a government can be no squatter. A government can be no squatter. But the haplogroup A2, a bottleneck, what it is, it means that my maternal line, there's been a destruction, fucking population control. We was the first ones that they tested the birth control pill on. Okay, listen, levántate, tribu de Ephraim. I'm gonna let you know that, Northern Tribe, get up, because they hope you don't read. Boricuas are literally telling people they're Puerto Rican. These are colonizer words. Puerto Ricans that ward the incapacitated adult or the minor of a corporation, squatters, nation, foreign, state, equal colonies in like the 1700s. The word United Colonies, United States. There's no motherfucking states. It's just one land, and the people that are ruling right now are basically squatters. And all they did, they create all these LLCs. When you have a baby, they indoctrinate you unknowingly. They're fucking frauds. They enroll you under the corporation with that birth certificate. That social is just a slave number. All we are is comfortable slaves. But I pulled myself off the motherfucking grid a long time ago. And so I have plenty of notes, like you was talking about. So for me, spirituality comes before religion. Fuck religion. Sorry to say it like that. But we talking about my people's been slaughtered because of religion. They used to tie my people to the fucking tree, bro, and burn them and put a cross in their face.
Facts. In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, and they ain't no J in Hebrew.
Facts.
And see, this year I'm taking colonizer words out of my mouth, because as soon as I started doing my ancestry research a year and a half ago, when mommy did her test, my brother did a test, my sister, me, whatever. And I had everything on my mother's report except Egyptian. And I said, well, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damned. Because all our life, we're like, oh, you the Puerto Rican? No, bitch, I'm not. I'm the Boricua. I'm the motherfucker you read about in the book that they said was dead. That's me. So what the A2 haplogroup bottleneck is like earthquakes. You know, we got people that die from earthquakes. We got people that die from hurricanes. We got people that die from the pull-up, from being enslaved, disenfranchised, bamboozled, all that shit, being starved. And then the crazy thing about being me is that the best thing Caucasians have ever done for me was teach me English, because it goes back to the spelling that you talk about, word magic that they use on our people. And I've had 2 male cousins ask me, cuz, who are we? And I'm like, I don't know, cuz, but I'm studying and I'm gonna find out who we are. And I found out who we are. I could take me all the way back to the Old Testament, straight up that. And so when I go to my mom and I talk to my mom, I'm like a racist. I'm too pro-black, like, for her. Like, I used to watch my mom get married and divorced and like marry different kind of people. And I was like, I've never dated outside of black men, period. I've never even dated a Boricua, but like I'm open in the future. Like I want to find one in the fucking campo that don't speak no English. I don't know if he's crying like Alcapurria or whatever. Like I don't care. It's just like, we've really been disenfranchised. Like I don't have to know everybody in this chat to know that we live the same story. Like a lot of us been abused. And what I was wondering all this time, like when all of these shootings and everything, and like, so as an abused child when I was little, I used to think, and this kind of fucked up, but I used to be thinking like, because a lot of us got our ass kicked. These kids are so privileged right now. A lot of us, our mothers and grandmothers would whoop our ass for today, for tomorrow, just in case you breathe wrong. Don't play me. My grandmother was so gangster. One day, my uncle's ex-wife disrespected my grandmother. She came out because I was raised in the South Bronx up until I was 10, and then I was raised in Miami. I moved to Atlanta when I was like 27. But my grandmother came out that apartment with her little, you know, her little, the little dresses the grandmas wear with the buttons and her little flip-flops. And my uncle's wife said something to her slick. My grandma came out with that Yankees little bat that you buy at the Yankee Stadium, stood at the top of the stair, and I'm looking at my grandma. Everybody's in the stairwell and shit. This is back in the day when nobody called the police. When my grandma threw that stick, she hit that lady right here. That shit went boop, just like that. We don't talk to grandmas no more. You don't talk back to your elders. That's disrespectful. So, I've been trying to tell my family who we are, right? So when I first started, my uncle literally stopped taking my calls. My grandma has 5 kids. My mother calls me a racist, or she can't take me because I'm just keep it real. And I watch, now that I'm like awake, this is like, you know, so I have put in the chat what a matrix is, because a lot of people be using that word matrix. Mm-hmm. And what matrix is a womb. It means it's a womb. And the only woman who could, see, I gotta be doing that. This is another thing, hair. I really am disturbed by women wearing dead people's hair, or not their own hair, or it's so crazy how you look at women. Because listen, I grew up with the Jackson 5 and Afro puffs, okay? I grew up watching the Jackson 5 and Afro puffs and shit. And I be looking at these women looking like damn Caucasian, high mountain Caucasian cave women and shit that was still in the cave when we had paved streets. The African kingdom that ruled the Iberian Peninsula from 711 AD to 1492. We had streets, we had buildings. These motherfuckers were still in the cave. And were illiterate, and that's okay. It was just dark ages, that's their business. But what a lot of brothers and sisters need to know is, like, when you do your ancestry research, I personally use 23andme.com to get my kit. It's a saliva kit, you send it back or whatever. And it's always funny when people be like, well, I don't know how I feel about that or whatever. I was like, whatever, because if somebody said that's your baby, you run to the courthouse real quick and prove that motherfucker ain't yours. So don't. Or somebody said you broke into a house and you know your ass didn't break into a house and you got to give your DNA. Don't play, you're going to give your DNA, you know? So the thing is that for us Boricuas, we lost our language. Guess what the ancient ancestors were speaking? They were speaking, check it out, ancient Paleo-Hebrew mixed with ancient Egyptian. There's stones, literally, that have already been authenticated, like that are in a whole bunch of different museums, where you can see the inscriptions and the words of ancient Paleo-Hebrew. And the other day I was looking at that for the second time, and I got to the end and I said, well, I'll be damned, because my dad used to say this word to me all the time. But he passed, like, he transitioned 8 years ago, but he's still with us. Because remember, we've been here before. This is just a different vessel. Because if we wasn't here before, I wouldn't be able to pull all my entire haplogroup, which is fucking 5 pages front and back. Like, that's how you got in you that walk with you every single day. You are your ancestor. Your ancestors are you. Just vessel, like back, like exactly what you was talking about earlier, right? But the thing is that when you do your DNA test, make sure that you get with somebody who's done it before, because this rabbit hole's so damn deep. You're gonna be so lost in the sauce. And I believe in, like, why like reinvent the wheel, right? To just put, because I believe that everybody should have 3 mentors. I think everybody should have 3 mentors. Going back to my yogi, he's one of my coaches and one of my mentors. He holds me accountable. He knows when I'm fucking up. He speaks into me. We might smoke a blunt while I'm doing yoga. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends. He don't really like me to smoke first because I get unfocused. But then the little girl in me who want to play in a headstand, I make her ass stay there for about 3 minutes to get, you know. But we really appreciate that you even thought about this space. Like, what made you even think about opening up this platform to like specifically talk about like conscious conversations? Like, what started that?
Yeah, I mean, to keep it gangster with you, it just happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was so I started doing lives on my Instagram about last year, but I was only speaking about like I was speaking a lot about, you know, becoming supernatural, about the mind and being present, semen retention, ejaculation control. Uh, uh,
What is that?
you said what?
But I'm sorry, I'm cursing. I'm sorry, y'all. What is that ejaculation control?
Oh yeah, semen retention and ejaculation control is basically the practice for men not ejaculating, pretty much, not wasting their life force, their creative energy, and circulating that energy inside of the body and expressing it in other productive ways.
Right.
Because, you know, our semen as a man is our creative energy. That's our creative energy, right? That's our sacred creative energy. So instead of losing it, or instead of pushing it outside of the body, it's the practice of recycling it inside of the body, so you could, you know, become pretty much your divine masculine self. So
Right.
yeah, that's just the that's just the
Do you mind if we ask if you're celibate?
Am I celibate?
Yeah, I feel like that's like a fair question, only because when it comes to veganism, no, seriously, like, when it really comes to connecting and people stealing your energy, like veganism, like how you was explaining how everything interconnects. So like when the wrong people come into our realm and disturb our spirit or our energy or whatever, that it could knock us off kilter.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that? Like, I feel like kind of is aligned with fasting.
Yeah.
Like y'all did a fast. I did a fast last week too. I fasted. Then I did a fruit fast for 3 days. But I don't never get sick. Like quarantine happened, I was like, oh shit, we on house arrest for real. That's what kept working. Like, there was like, shit, guess what we was doing in Atlanta when everybody was in the house? Hood. And I told my yogi, I said, you know, we should go to the most hood part of the hood and go to the park. And so we went to the hood, we went to the park, we started with 10 people while y'all was in fucking quarantine, where your family, all of our family, so many people in this chat right here, our family will listen to the Caucasian man in a heartbeat. But let a sister call and say, they know I'm plant-based, they know I don't get sick. I wrote a book during quarantine to help my family like eat properly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put 4 different alkaline items, so that and then I even broke that shit down to the vitamins and the minerals. And guess what? The most biggest disappointment about people who have been colonized is that because my grandma only went to 5th grade. It doesn't matter, because we're the motherfuckers who built the pyramids. Like, we didn't need the formal education to do shit. Pulled up in our hood. We already had a self-governing situation. We was on the island 2,000 years before we got invaded. So everybody's talking about you looking for land and shit like that. You need to go over there to the island of Borinquen. It's Puerto Rico. Let me tell you what Puerto Rico is. It's actually another fictitious name, but it is the private nonprofit corporation that the Moors put together. Moors mean just dark skin. They are the African kings that was running the Iberian Peninsula. So anytime somebody talk about Spain and Portugal, don't X yourself out, because we was in that motherfucker. 800 running shit. The Moors put together this charter. It's the name of the charter to do commerce and trade from the island of what? Borinquen. That's what that is. So next time you go to the island and you like, oh, I'm gonna go to Puerto Rico, just know your ass sound like a colonizer, and you need to work on your vocabulary, because that's what I'm doing this year. It's really hard. Because I literally talk to you and tell you this, and then bust out with, yeah, I'm going to PR next week. It's just like programming, like what you said earlier, just programming. Like, just know this. when it comes to spirituality, we are spirits first.
Mm-hmm.
Dot. There is no comma. Having a human experience in this space. That's all we are, right? Okay. So before there was Christianity, you had the Bantu tribes in the sub-Saharan. They were already living the laws of the Torah. Then you had the damn these man-made concepts created. And for me, like when you were talking about spirituality and religion, every time you said religion, I was like, fuck religion.
Mm.
Because remember, imagine me, I'm on the island, we get invaded. And not only do we get invaded, check this shit out, a lot of so-called Puerto Ricans don't know. So, you know we come in all shades.
Mm.
Okay. So, I'm like tracking my grandpa's side to figure out where the hell they was at. But like everybody was born on the island that I could find till 1750. I found my peoples till 1750. Two of my grandparents, my other two grandparents, I can't find my peoples after 1830.
Mm-hmm.
I go to my mother and I'm like, Mom, mind you, these are her grandparents. I go to my mom, I'm like, Mom, I can't find great-great-grandma. We need to call around and see what, like, I just know her name. I cannot find documentation. And the thing that really, like, triggered something in me was that, Ephraim is fruitful.
Mm.
We got a fucking basketball team. Every time a woman have a baby, we spit a lot 11.
Mm.
Damn, I met a lady in the island. She's a child of 19. Next lady over there, the elders, I like to talk to them over there in the island. The next one is like, we have 14. Like, we have a lot of children. So then great-great-grandma had this one child.
Mm.
I'm like, something's wrong here. So I talked to my grandma's kids, and guess what? They told me. They said, oh my God, can you find people alive?
Mm. Wow.
I was thinking to myself, I hope the ancestors don't hear you because you just don't know you're talking to one right now.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you're back to your, so celibacy,
Mm-hmm.
veganism, channeling and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree with celibacy, practicing, of course, until you get married. However, I don't do that, but I will say that, I don't just give myself to any, like, I don't practice celibacy, but I don't just give myself to any or, everybody. Like, I have my own discernment, you know what I'm saying? This is the reason why, like, in a lot of lives, I speak about semen retention and ejaculation control, because once as a man you start controlling your sexual urges, you will then start putting yourself on a pedestal of not thinking with your dick but actually thinking with your mind.
Right.
And then once you start tapping into your mind, you'll start tapping into soul and spirit, you know what I mean? So no, I'm not gonna say I'm not waiting till I'm married, but I'm not also just out here busting down. Like, nah, I'm not doing that. But I am just solely focused on me right now. I can't say that 100%. I've been put in the position to create a community and build a community and, help my people and assist my people on, becoming conscious. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course it all aligns, you know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate you for asking that. I appreciate you for getting on and expressing yourself. I'm gonna add one more person on here real quick before we go.
Thank you. Peace, blessings. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, boom. Let's add somebody else on here before we get up out of here, y'all. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't say I'm celibate, you know what I'm saying? And the reason, damn, I forgot, I should have explained this too, guys, when you was on the line. Like, another reason why I'm not celibate is because when it comes to marriage, I spoke about marriage before. When it comes to marriage, my personal belief is that sex actually binds you with the person more than marriage. And the reason why I say that is because when you actually, exchange sacred energy with somebody, you're also exchanging sacred DNA, right? And that binds you more than just, You know what I'm saying? That binds you more than just a marriage certificate or just going through a ceremony, although the ceremony and the ritual is important. And then, you know, even when it comes to like marriage, like this whole, I should have kept you on here, Goddess, forgive me. Real, I should have kept you on here to explain this, so forgive me, Goddess. I hope you're still in here. But even when it comes to you know, this system marriage, like I don't even want to get married based off of, you know what I'm saying, this system. Like I don't want the government involved. I don't want no certificate, none of that shit. You feel what I'm saying? I want to actually just be, you know what I'm saying? And of course, this also start disconnected from the titles, you know what I mean? So yeah, so another, like I said, so another reason why I'm not celibate is because I feel like sex connects me to whoever I am indulging with deeper than sex, which is why, you know what I'm saying, I make sure that I have discernment and I don't just give myself to any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I also speak about in my semen retention and ejaculation control course as well. Like I said, once a man start developing that energy, man, he ascends. He ascends so high to the point where there's no more programming of him just sexualizing women every time he see a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's not no, you know, every time he see a beautiful woman, he's not thinking with his dick. You know what I'm saying? That's not the first thing on his mind. He's actually trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? What are you thinking about? What is your vibration like? Can I trust you with my kids? Can I trust you with money? Can I trust you with my life? Are you a nurturing person? Like, yes, like the men in my class, yeah, they know about this. Like they know, man, fuck, sex is just a plus. Your body is just a plus. Your hair is just a plus. Your makeup is just a plus. Your eyelash is just a plus. Your external is nothing but a plus. What is your insides like? That's what we want to know. And that's why I always talk about semen retention and ejaculation control, ejaculation control, because as a goddess, as all the queens and the goddesses that's on here right now, I advise you if you have a man, if you have a king, get him practicing semen retention and ejaculation control, and or introduce whoever you talking to, or make sure you get a man that's practicing semen retention and ejaculation control, because I'm telling you, you dealing with at this point, you're not dealing with a man, you're not dealing with a king, you're dealing with a god. And I'm gonna just keep it gangster with you. I'm just keeping it gangster with you. So I'm going to add one more person, y'all. Then we're gonna get up out of here real quick. We're gonna get up out of here. Let's see. Let's add Jamie Karima. You raised your hand. Come on to the front of the class.
Clean my camera. I was about to go to sleep. Can you hear me?
What's poppin', guys?
Hey.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So look, I wanted to hop on here. I had got sleepy a little bit, and I was like, but that was a lot for tonight. It was good stuff, so I appreciate it. And like she was saying, thank you.
Oh.
But I had questions about mermaids. So going back to the topic, spirituality and religion. I remember I was watching something where a pastor was talking. I grew up in the church, and all my family is very religious. I've always been more spiritual, but I always tap in, and kind of like I could see the correlation between the two. And he was praying, and he said, "Death to mermaids and Leviathan," and all of those things. And it kind of touched me. I was like, dang, like, why you say that?
Yeah.
And I was really taken back. And the reason why is because I've always had a strong connection to mermaids.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just happened so naturally. Like, just growing up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like the Little Mermaid. I just love the ocean. That's where I go. Like, if I'm ever in like a state where I just need to release, I always go to the ocean. Me and my daughter, we just hop in the car. We like, let's go. We're going to the ocean.
Sure.
And that's where I like recharge and get all of my creative, my next move, my plans, whatever the case may be. I go back home and it's like, okay, we there. I'm here. So I didn't understand that. And he was like praying, And I asked the question, and he was just like, "We got to pray this demon off of you." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, I didn't feel like I had no demon. I thought I was good." Like, and and yeah, and it kind of took me back. So and one more thing. So I remember a time where um I I was having experiences. Like there was one girl that got on here and she was talking about the different experiences she had. And I have dreams and sometimes they're very out of body. And at one point, you know, when I didn't understand, it would be scary. Now, I'm just gonna tell two quick stories or whatever, because I don't want to take up too much time. But there was one particular time where I took ayahuasca. Or whatever. I was with a shaman. I was safe. You know what I'm saying? It was a little scary at first, but like after, I was like, okay, you know. He was like, wherever your spirit is, that's where it's gonna take you. So you know what I'm saying? Like, just you know, you good. Like, so the world broke up. Like, all. I'm like, oh my God! Like, and nothing is like, like just atoms everywhere. And it took me to this ocean. And it was a group of mermaids, and they turned around. They were like, "We were waiting for you." And I was like, "Hey," like they were like my friends or something. And I felt very safe and at peace there, like you know, for them 5-10 minutes. There was another time where I had this crazy dream, and I ain't gonna get too deep because I don't know y'all like that, but I know this is a safe place. But I had this crazy dream, and I was in Haiti in the dream. A guy had took me on a date. He was going to talk to somebody in the dream, and they were like, take her on a trip. He took me to the beach. That's my safe place, you know what I'm saying? So he went to the beach, and he left to go talk to this person, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The wind started going, everybody running. I'm in Haiti. I'm like, I don't know where to go. Like, so where I'm supposed to run to? Y'all know where to go. I don't know where to go. So I stand up to get my stuff. There's this thing that walk out of the water. Now she blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, she, you know, she just like moving real sensual. Like, I want to taste you. I want to taste you. I'm like, hold on, sis. Like, you can't taste me. I ain't to eat. You know what I'm saying? So like, and when I tell you, I'm like telling myself in a dream, like, okay, sis, like, wake up, like, wake up. When I woke up in real time, this lady was on the side of my bed, like, I want to taste you. I'm like, hold on, like, you can't taste me because I don't belong to you. Mind you, this is a mermaid. Yeah. Like, this also, too, is a mermaid. Now, I understand because she came out the water. That's what I consider it. Like, she came out, you know what I'm saying, with her little, you know, like, moving all of that. And I'm like, oh, my God, I felt very unsafe, right? Yeah, I don't laugh at my story. I'm being vulnerable. I'm telling you. So, like, so then I'm like, oh, my God, like, is this what he was talking about? But I always wanted to know, like, what is it? Like, you know, connecting spirituality, religion, because the religion side of it, and I love God. I love God. I feel like it's so important, most of all, to just live as a good person, you know what I'm saying? And just grow through your journeys. Nobody's perfect, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just grow and just be a good person, like love people, vibrate love, all that good stuff. But I'm just like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, the mermaids, the other life creatures, things like that. How do you feel about that?
So this is the thing, right? First and foremost, we have to understand that we're aquatic beings, right? First off, our body is made up of what? Over 80% of water.
Water.
For about 10 months, we're inside of water, right? So we are actually aquatic beings. Before we came out the amniotic fluid, before we came out of the womb, we were breathing in water. That's how we was breathing. So with you being connected to water, that's just your natural state. That's a lot of our natural states. However, with you having a connection to mermaids, or aquatic beings, that could actually be like a real connection that you have, because what we have to understand is that with us, that people that look like us, you know what I'm saying, like we actually, a lot of us are different creatures from different beings, you know what I'm saying. yet connected, but we all, you know what I'm saying, we have different connections, different DNA strands where we may have derived from, however the case may be. So you may have that divine connection to different mermaids, you know what I'm saying. One thing I will say, and one thing I do know for a fact, is that the mermaids that look like half human, half mermaid, those are not real mermaids. Those are GMO created projects from we know who. Real mermaids, they look like real, they look completely different than just these human features. I'm gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I believe in it. As far when it comes to religion, I mean, you know, the indoctrination of religion is more so like anything other than human is of the devil, is a demon, is bad, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So of course have your own discernment and do your own studies. But yeah, I mean, should I pray I answer your question?
You did. You answered my question.
Okay.
And I have one more thing to say, like really quickly. So there was one person that said, like, I am Oshun in the flesh. I read that. And I just wanted to say, because I don't have all the answers. I don't know, like, for real. I just know certain experiences. And I remember one time, the way that I came in contact with Orishas, I never knew anything about Orishas. I never looked into it or anything. But I actually seen something, and it was a woman with red and everything like that. And I actually Googled it and I started looking it up, how I felt and what I seen, and it brought up Oya. And at a time in my life, that was what like was going on in my life. It was like tornadoes everywhere. There was another time years later where I was coming into another stage in my life, and
Man, God, is your live breaking up?
sorry. Can you see me now?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. So years later, I came in contact with this other woman I would consider like spiritual. And she left and she was like, "You're not ready yet." Now, she was right, because at that time, have experiences, they have their experiences, so they know what I'm talking about. And this woman was older and she was more of a mothering spirit, and she guided me and told me certain things to do. And at certain times when she told me to do them and to go get certain things that I bought years before, and was like, "You bought that for this moment." And I just remember it was like lightning. It was crazy. Like, and I was like, "Oh snap, I think I experienced like the different like vibrations or frequencies of these different orishas." But I'm like, maybe it's just like they all within us, and they just certain times when certain things come out. Because I've also experienced fathering, like that felt like I was being fathered by certain, you know, like I can't even really explain it. So I just wanted to add that, like, maybe we all of them.
Yeah, fact.
Who knows?
But
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
you know, it's similar to the zodiacs. You know what I'm saying? Like we have all the signs in our chart. You know what I mean? So that was just a side note. But yeah, you know, we are the Orishas. Like we embody those, the energy, the frequency. You know what I'm saying? We have the abilities to channel certain beings and certain spirits. Hence why when I go, you know, earlier, there's nothing more powerful than you. Like you have the power to channel certain energy. You know what I'm saying? I know, I don't know if it was Monday or last Wednesday, I spoke about how we are different from certain beings. And yeah, you can, you know, certain individuals and certain beings that don't look like us, they can do certain energy work. However, you know, when it comes to us, we have like these energy works is our birthright. This is in our DNA. This is nothing that's given to us. It's us. It is us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we have the power to channel. We have the power, like we're limitless to tap into certain beings while other beings are limited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. That the tornado and when you're going through those transitions in certain beings and you're channeling certain entities, you have to understand that you're just going through initiation. You know what I'm saying? You're going through initiation more so than just a test. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure. Like I know, I had a homegirl that went to Haiti, you know, well, I believe she stay in Haiti. And her initiation was like, yeah, it's shit real. You know what I mean? So yeah,
And it
you
ain't
just
always fun. It's
it ain't
not
never
always
fun.
fun. I think that's one thing important too to tell. Like I remember you were telling the story where you were like, I went through a lot. Like, you know, you had to find yourself.
Yeah.
I could really resonate with that because a lot of times people think that spirituality could be so pretty and like, oh, well, you're supposed to be at peace all the time. But like, I'm going against the grain of
Right.
what we have been taught. Like, this is not comfortable. This is painful.
Right.
Okay.
What it
I'm
is,
looking
what it is
bumpy.
getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of
Y'all
course.
have a good night. Peace.
I appreciate you
Okay.
for joining the community, guys.
You too.
All right, have a good one. Beautiful, beautiful. Hey, man, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for tapping in tonight, baby. Yeah, y'all handle y'all bit naive, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? Shout it like for real, like on my mama. You know what I'm saying? Shit, they tell you feel me? I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, boy. Who, boy? Hey, boy. Y'all did y'all shit tonight, boy. You feel me? Oh my mama, boy, hey, boy, shit, boy, hey, boy, shit, you feel me? But look, I appreciate y'all, man. Tonight was powerful. Tonight was beautiful. Tonight was amazing. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for joining the community because without the community, there is no community. I give honor and thanks to every last one of y'all that also joined on the live to ask questions, man. I appreciate y'all in the comments. Man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know we finna leave with prayer, and I got one more thing to say. I give honor and thanks to the powers that be that have put me in a position to obtain knowledge, to not just obtain the knowledge that I have, but convert this knowledge into wisdom to be able to not just teach myself, but the people, places, and things around me. I give honor and thanks and also send that same energy out to every being, every individual, every being that's on this live, that's in this community to not only be able to obtain the knowledge, but convert that knowledge into wisdom to not only teach themselves, but the people, places, and things around them. I also give honor and thanks to every being, and I send nothing but love, light, peace, health, wealth, peace, success, unlimited happiness to every being that is a part of this community because I understand, and I understand that without the community, there is no community. I also pray that every vibration, every frequency, every word that was spoken tonight was spoken far away from ego, but on the same frequency of love, light, and most importantly, truth. I give honor and thanks to the powers that be. Ashe, Asheo, Aman, Amen, Hare Krishna, and all of the above that you shall subscribe to. I got one more thing to say, and then we gonna get up out of here. I come as I am. I am who I am. Who I am not, I will never be. Love me for me, or do not love me at all. I am a great man, and I'm gonna show you how great I am. I shall leave as I come. Peace.